The corner of the dragon's evil mouth rose, and he met him with a smile. No, you don't want it. I want it. It smells good. Red Fire Dragon jumped out and took the wine bag from the knight hand. Mang Bai, give you a bag. Red Fire Dragon generous throw Mang Bai a bag of wine. It's very fragrant. Mang Bai sniffed close to his nose and sighed. As for the reaction of that knight, no one seems to care. But people with smart noses all know that this wine is a good thing. It's not for nothing. Little thing, we can't stay here any longer. It's almost time for us to get up. Long Qingxia came close to Yunwu's ear and whispered. Indeed, even if we have to wait for Nanganji, we can't stay here. Good. Cloud Dance nods slightly. However, just when a few people were ready to leave, all of a sudden, several people were attracted by the boiling crowd. Looking high, two orcs helped a bodyguard into the crowd. The two orcs were apparently wounded, and blood was dripping down the ground. The bodyguard's condition was more serious. His right leg was almost completely broken, leaving a layer of skin hanging, and the sand was stained red with blood. Seeing this, the crowd was boiling again. Isn't this the bodyguard who went out to the caravan yesterday? Isn't he going to the slaughterhouse? Yes, why did you come back with a wound before this day? What about the others? What's the matter? Is Yun and Miss Yunwu here? The guard, supported by the orcs, almost tried to shout. Obviously, it's looking for Yunwu. And originally gathered around the people, immediately give them a way out. The orc helped the half-dead bodyguard and came to Yunwu with difficulty. Save, save. The bodyguard, panting, tried to open his mouth, but it didn't seem complete. The orc who supported the guard said. Miss Cloud Dance. Our caravan was attacked by a desert beast in the city of Slaughtering. The attack of a desert beast? Isn't there nearly 100 people in the caravan, just a desert beast? Are you in such a mess? It's too weak. That's right. 1 or 2 desert beasts can be solved easily. When people around heard about it, there was a sudden uproar. Can Dragon Qing Evil dance with Cloud, but seem to feel a little bit wrong? Don't make any noise. You go on after seeing the dragon's evil spirit and Cloud dance, the orc continued. At first, our caravan didn't think so. However, unexpectedly, the desert beast was completely different from the previous desert beast. It was very big, really too big. Moreover, the corners of the desert beast's eyes were very white, very strange, and the strength was too strong. All our caravan people took action, but they still didn't do it. I can't beat it back, said the orc, with a sudden pause. Just when we were almost torn apart by the desert beast, we got the help of 3 partners of Yunwu girl, and then we escaped from the dead, but... The orc seemed to be frightened by something, and their words were trembling and vague. But what? This time, not only did Cloud dance and Dragon Qingxia frown, but also Shengguan Red Fire Dragon's face sank. 3 partners, should not be Nanganji, Situ Lan, pray for the night. That desert beast is too powerful. I'm afraid Yunwu girl's partner won't last long. What? Is the desert beast so powerful? I haven't heard of it before. The crowd is boiling again. However, Yunwu and others have already tacit understanding, body movement, volley quickly toward the outside of the city. Several figures left in this way, and the people who were in an uproar suddenly could not help but stop. But soon, a lot of people also went out of the city. Night is not any action, but still standing in the same place, looking at the direction of a few people leaving Yunwu. Deep in the eye is the profound meaning. Maybe Cloud dance is really special. Finally, Night had the injured 3 arranged. As for what happened in the desert outside the city, he didn't seem to plan to see it. Outside the city is the endless desert. As soon as Yunwu and others leave the city, they feel a little anxious. There are endless deserts outside the city. They don't know where Nanganji are. Just as the Red Fire Dragon was about to go back to the city and take a orc out to find his way. After that, many mercenaries rushed out, all of them wanted to follow Yunwoo to rescue people. Miss Cloud Dance, the direction of the slaughterhouse is over there. Let's hurry up and we'll make it. Yes, Miss Yunwoo doesn't have to worry. After one of the mercenaries pointed the way, Yunwoo and others didn't waste their time. They picked up Yuanli and left quickly in the air. The following mercenaries, naturally, followed in a hurry. However, people expelled from the top of the desert seemed to be limited by the pressure in the air and unable to fly in the air. On the top of the desert in the daytime, the temperature is very high. Flying fast in the desert, the hot air came. But Yunwoo and others are getting faster and faster. They have no intention of slowing down at all. Until, half the time of incense. It was originally hot air, as if just gradually blowing a smell of blood. And some kind of fighting came from a distance. There ahead. As soon as the words of Cloud Dance fall, the elements of trend wind rush away in an instant. Dragon Qing Evil see this, that nature is also speed up, follow closely. Through the white beast eyes, this kind of situation, he also is the first time to hear, estimate is not easy to deal with the role. The flying speed of the red fire dragon is the fastest. Seeing that the speed of Cloud Dance and Dragon's evil spirits has been accelerated, he immediately clenched his teeth and turned into a dragon shape. Roar! Raise your head and roar. Meng Bai followed the officer, jumped up directly, grabbed one of the red fire dragon's paws, and accelerated forward with it. Roar! The roar of the beast filled the sky. In the hot desert Lus, the sand was almost stained with blood red. A torn corpse fell in the desert, including the body of a camel carrying goods. This is a desert that is completely red with blood. And not far from this tragic situation, 3 figures are fighting with a half-dormant warcraft in the desert. Damn it, I didn't expect that this desert beast could become elite. It's too powerful. We're not rivals. If we catch the chance, we'll leave first. Situ Lan, who was always lazy, was so solemn for the first time that he didn't dare to relax his attack. Nangong Yi under the white gauze is also very dignified. A red snake sort of prey knight, cold face also tightly frowned. 3 people, with triangle attack mode, almost did their best to balance the desert beast still dormant in the desert. Once one retreats, the 2 will not be rivals. But if 3 people retreat at the same time, the dormant desert beast will definitely attack one person and tear it directly. That's why the 3 never retreated. 3 people can't abandon who first escape, because they are partners. However, when Yunwoo and others rushed to see the form of the siege, they immediately seemed to understand why they had not withdrawn. Don't worry, little thing. Dragon Qingxie suddenly stopped Yunwoo. Then came the red fire dragon and so on, also can immediately deadlock in mid-air. Isn't that Nangong Yi? Why did they stop? Shengguan frowned. Yes, they don't seem to be able to support it. Let's help. Red fire dragon agrees. But before long Qingxie spoke, Meng Bai said, this time, I really can't be in a hurry. Even Meng Bai said so. Although Yunwoo was anxious, she calmed down. What's the matter? If you're right, it's probably not a desert beast. Long Qingxie looks at Nangong Yi who is still entangled in the distance. Not a desert beast? Yes, I don't think so. You see, the half-body of the warcraft is still dormant in the desert, only showing its upper body. I think its shape is much bigger than what we see. Meng Bai stares at the desert beast in the desert and says seriously. Yunwoo and others frowned when they heard the words. Let's attack in the air. Anyway, we can't just do it here. Let's watch Nangong Yi. Yes, let me have a try first. Red fire dragon urgent temper, language falls at the moment, dragon body a twist, suddenly toward that south palace they but go. I'll go too. Shengguan also immediately left in the air. Cloud Dance see this, and Dragon Qing Evil look at each other, no matter what, first hand, then act on the occasion. Dragon Qing Evil corner of the mouth a hook, eyes flashed a helpless pet drown, go. two figures turn into two radians. Meng Bai looks at the yellow sand in the desert with different colors below. He always has a feeling that something is wrong. However, seeing that Yunwu and they have all gone, he naturally follows them regardless of anything. Nanganji, Situ Lan, pray for the night, get out of the way. With the rapid arrival of several figures, a loud voice suddenly came from the desert. As soon as Yu Guang looked at the three people who were struggling to support him, he was very happy. Here they are. Fireball. Sword Chi. Knife Light. Almost at the same time towards the huge Warcraft head. Bang dash, with a loud noise, the three figures retreated rapidly. Sandstorm everywhere, the sky was covered by sandstorm, a long yellow sand. Half a ring. When the yellow sand gradually falls, the cloud dance and others in the air suddenly frown. Gone. Originally that huge Warcraft, completely disappeared. Only, a concave sand. Nangong Yi, Situ Lan, pray for the night, three people in just after dodge, physical strength can't hold half kneel down. When they saw that there was no sign of Warcraft, they were also surprised. Can that Warcraft really escape? Situ Lan gasped for a while, and his tone couldn't help being surprised. Pray for the cold eyes of the night to sweep around, but still didn't see anything strange. Nangong Yi's eyes under the white gauze also immediately turned around. Under his third eye, nothing could escape. But he didn't see it. In the endless desert, there is nothing but yellow sand. Is it gone? Or after a long time, the whole desert is still silent, quiet, terrible. Is that Warcraft gone? Red Dragon in mid-air, finally can't help but say a word, broke the abnormal silence. At this time, Yunwu and others came down from mid-air. Nanganji, Situlan and Kai's have a tacit understanding of Choyinwu and others. How are you? Cloud Dance eyes flashed a trace of concern to look at the three. Nangong shook his head, it's okay. It's just a little physical exertion. Just adjust your breath. But why are you here? Situlan was surprised to see everyone arrive. The caravan went back to report. Long Qingxie looked at Situlan, but you didn't mean to go back to mainland China. Why did you go back to the top of the desert? Don't mention it. Originally, I intended to go back to mainland China, but when the teleportation array returned, it collapsed and almost didn't get hanged by the barrier. When Situlan thought of the thrilling scene, he couldn't help feeling cold sweat. The teleport crash. What do you mean? Just the three of you, are all her black teams already? Cloud brow tightening, straight to pray for the night. Pray night, cold eyes with Cloud Dance looked at each other, slightly shook his head. There are too many people in the black team. There are too many transmissions back and forth. When it comes to us, there will be cracks in the transmission array. Nanganji explained. The teleportation array was originally the first masterpiece of Long Qingxie. It seems understandable that this kind of problem appears. Fortunately, people are okay. Now it's not a place to talk. Why don't we go back to the nearest evil city first? Meng Bai looks at the Cloud Dance. Just now, the huge Warcraft didn't know whether it was gone or where it was lurking. This place is really not a place to talk. However, at this time. Miss Cloud Dance, here we are. Here we are. A voice of momentum came from far away from near. After a while, I saw a lot of mercenaries coming from the direction where they just came from. Yunwu looked at the people who came, and the number was hundreds at least. It seems that those mercenaries who followed the cloud just in front of the gate of the evil city. To tell you the truth, seeing their arrival, Yunwu was moved. At least, as far as she knows, all the people on the top of the desert are evil men. But now they are not what they used to be, and what they do is her. It's absolutely false to say there's no feeling. I didn't expect that they were really coming. Yes, Red Fire Dragon and Meng Bai also seem to have some accidents. Long Qingxie is a little proud, and what makes him proud is the woman around him. This woman always seems to have the kind of charm that people are willing to follow her. However, it is at this time. Say. Some kind of sound of sand surging, as if from a long distance. Be careful, it doesn't seem right. The cloud danced, and his voice sank. Almost at that moment, several men of Long Qingxie subconsciously protect the two women Yunwu and Qiye in the middle. But the next second. Boom. Ah. Ah. After the sound of the earthquake, the mercenaries, who had been flying towards the clouds, suddenly let out a scream, and the rolling yellow sand spread all over the sky at that moment. Yunwu's face suddenly changed. Damn it, help! Under the roar of the cloud dance, the wind element has been wrapped in the body, and the figure is rapidly moving towards the yellow sand of the miserable cry. Little thing. Long Qingxie's face sank and he almost followed the cloud dance. Whoosh, whoosh! Other people's figure, also in response, at present, immediately followed quickly. No one expected that this scene would happen so quickly. Moreover, I have no idea how it happened. Hoo. The wind in the desert blows up the yellow sand all around. You can't see a piece of space clearly. It seems that you can only see the hazy yellow sand, which makes people blind. When Yunwu's several people arrived, the scream had disappeared. The yellow sand, which had been blown up by a hurricane, gradually began to subside. In a moment, the wind stopped and the sand fell. However, the original hundreds of mercenaries, but completely disappeared, including the original body covered with blood sand, also disappeared. If not for the remains of some caravans and chariots, people would think that everything is an illusion. Yunwu stood in the same place, his eyes staring at the desert, but his fists clenched. Just now, she called out her name and said that hundreds of people would come to help her, but it was gone, which made Yunwu angry. What the hell is that? There's something wrong with this place. Let's leave first. Meng Bai looked around, there were always some depressing feelings in his heart. Little thing, let's leave first. She'll listen. Coldly praying for the night, I suddenly raised my ears and listened carefully. Cloud Dance's eyes were a little more dignified in an instant, and Gu Wu's sword came out of the air in an instant. Boom. Boom. Slowly, a dull noise came into everyone's ears. Long Qingxie's evil face is also dignified, tightly protecting Yunwu's side. Be careful, everyone. Yunwu and Long Qingxie are closely linked. Little thing, you still have injuries. If you can't hold on, don't try to be brave. The dragon Qing evil behind him turns his head slightly and instructs the way. Are you hurt? Nangong Yi looks at the clouds, and there is an undercurrent under the white gauze. It's all right, little injury. Boom boom, the sound is louder and louder, more and more dreary, as if the earth is falling apart. This voice, the willow leaves are dancing in the clouds, and their eyebrows are suddenly wrinkled. Suddenly, they feel a little bit bad. Suddenly, his face suddenly changed, this voice is coming from the ground, under us. Be careful, boom dash, boom dash. After hearing the cloud dance reminder, people were just about to react. But under the sand dune, suddenly dozens of dark shadows burst out. The speed was so fast that even the cloud dance was startled. Everyone, including Yunwu, is the target of the shadow. They are smashed by the powerful force brought by the shadow. Pufei figure across a radian, cloud fell to the ground, after rolling a few circles, spurted a mouthful of blood, shoulder gradually emerged a touch of scarlet dyed red clothes. Little thing. A shadow of a man came down, and the dragon, leaning evil, faltered and stabilized himself, quickly picked up the cloud dance on the ground. How's it going? Long Qingxie holds Yunwu. When she sees her bloody shoulders, her eyebrows send out a strong sense of killing. Yunwu shook his head, indicating that he was okay. It's just that the wound on his shoulder has split again. However, when a road figure was hit fly, embarrassed roll a circle. Cloud Dance suddenly felt a panic. What was the shadow just now? The speed, the strength, but for Qi to remind, maybe she can't react so quickly. And when Cloud Dance looks at those dark shadows, the pupil eye suddenly shrinks. I saw that the original shadow, as soon as it touched the yellow sand, suddenly turned into a huge desert beast. Those desert beasts are just transformed by the shadow. In other words, isn't that a real desert beast? But it's not a desert beast. What are those? At this time, dozens of strong desert beasts spread out in encirclement, and their scarlet eyes looked straight at the crowd. Cloud Dance, how are you? Nangong-yi grabs his left arm and stumbles. The red blood drips down his arm. The white clothes on his arm are dyed bright red by the blood. Are you hurt? When Yunwoo sees Nangong-yi's left arm red with blood, his brow is suddenly wrinkled. The wounded wound was poisonous, the voice of Black Pride suddenly sounded in my mind. Toxic? After hearing this, Yunwoo hardly thought about it. He stretched out his hand and directly lifted the clothes on Nangong-yi's arm. Hiss dash, the scene immediately made Yunwoo take a breath, and Nangong-yi's whole arm was cut 3 wounds in the impact. Each wound is deep visible bone, seems to be claw scratch, blood DC. And the blood, it seems that there is a trace of black blood. It was that night that she was so poisoned by the desert beast. Hiss. Yunwoo rips a piece of cloth from his body, takes out the antidote herb from the space, chews it twice in his mouth, and then applies it on Nangong-ji's arm wound, wrapping it with a cloth strip. Cloud Dance of these actions, one side of the dragon are looking at evil, that pair of golden pupil has complex, but more is doting. It seems that this little woman doesn't understand men's heart. How could her action not provoke Peach Blossom? However, he still likes it very much, thank you. Although you can't see Nangong-yi's face, there is a trace of warmth in the tone. Cloud Dance at this time, but not too many other thoughts. Soon, all the people gathered together, besieged the city in a circle, back to back, facing the huge desert beasts around them who had not attacked them for a long time. Are you hurt? Cloud Dance, vigilant looking around, low voice toward the companion after death, inquires away. A little skin rub is nothing. Situ Lan spoke. That is, how can these low-level desert beasts hurt me? Red Fire Dragon also has a rough voice. However, Yunwoo turns the other hand and takes out a jade bottle from the space. These are not desert beasts at the top of the desert. What's inside are detoxification pills. If you are hurt by those things, the wound will be poisonous. Although, the toxicity of the wounds is not strong, for them, in fact, not much impression for a moment. However, at this moment, a little influence may have killed them. Shangguan, several people smell speech, did not have any hesitation, after that, directly poured out one from the jade bottle and threw it into the mouth. That kind of behavior is the greatest trust. But after half a sound. Yunwoo, several people are still maintaining the situation just now. Something's wrong. These desert beasts haven't moved. They seem to be waiting for some kind of order. Calm Nangong-ji analyzes, and his wise eyes sweep slowly. There is a trace of difference in the depth of his eyes. I found out, too. It's not the way for us to go on like this, or shall we break through first? Yes, I agree. If the stalemate goes on like this, the physical strength will lose too fast under the high temperature, which is really not the way. Then kill. Chi Knight is full of ferocity and evil spirit. At this time, Yunwoo Guang glanced at her. Cloud Dance this just discovers, Chi Knight color on the face flows down a white bloodstain, just the wound is not big, not easy to detect. Your face. The Cloud dances and frowns, and a touch of cold flashes across the eyes. You know how important a woman's face is to a woman. Hearing the words, Chi turned his head coldly and looked at one of the desert beasts with cold eyes through his hair. I always have revenge. If I destroy my face, I will take out its intestines. Cloud Dance. It's cruel. Chi Knight, that cold voice, let the presence of a few men are raised eyebrows. However, several men seem to have seen the bloody woman of Yunwoo for a long time. They seem to be used to the ferocity of praying for the night. Then don't wait. The cloud dances a corner of the mouth to hook, the eye ground is to kill the idea extremely cold. Good. Several people tacit understanding of a nod. And at the same time, several strong breath, almost at the same time. Ow dash, at the same time, the desert beast also attacked. Everybody be careful. Ordered A, cloud figure a flash, rushed into the herd, waved a knife. 2 desert beasts screamed and threw them into the air, splashing a piece of blood. At this time, however, the dragon's evil spirit was also in the dark. At the moment when the sword came out of his hand, the strange and fierce breath attacked fiercely. Red fire dragon, Meng Bai, 2 into the original shape, an instant up and down tacit understanding straight to Shengguan several people, not to mention, the figure into a road shadow, hand ferocious. Once you break through, leave immediately. Yunwu gave a loud cry. The big sword in his hand cuts a gentle arc in the air. The huge on of the sword falls from the sky and blows several desert beasts into a pile of broken meat. Fast, accurate and ruthless. Yunwu's attack did not drag the slightest mud and water, beautiful eyes flashing indifference and chill. However, the heart is more and more dignified panic. Because the desert beast on the ground, which had been blown to pieces, soon turned into black fog and penetrated into the desert. I didn't kill them. This can be seen by people with clear eyes. I believe they all know the dragon's evil, so they are so quick and fierce. Boom. The flames were everywhere, and 2 desert beasts were burned to black corpses. However, 2 desert beasts fell down, and immediately rushed to 3 desert beasts to encircle, while the bombed corpses turned into black fog and went deep into the desert. Roar. The roar of the beast came from all around. Whoosh. At the bottom of the desert, dozens of dark shadows appeared again. When they came into contact with the desert lus, they suddenly turned into a fierce and huge desert beast. Yunwu and others kill while they're at it, but they can't finish it. It's endless. Damn it. This is definitely not the way. At the moment when cloud dance takes time, my heart moves, and when my hand is brushed, several lights flash out. Master. Mama. Stop yelling and help out. Yunwu was so anxious for the first time. Since she came to this strange world, she felt so helpless for the first time. Yes, 5 figures immediately found a breakthrough point, fierce attack. Shit. All of a sudden, the red fire dragon roared in a thick voice, couldn't resist, and flew out. As soon as Shiding's body flashed, the green vines immediately pulled it back. You are a dragon, how so weak? Shiding looks at the red fire dragon like disgust. You're weak, I'm a dragon dash, the red fire dragon spat out blood, and its deep eyes were dyed scarlet by the battle. Then do your best. Said, Shiding figure a flash, continue just break through. Damn, I want these bugs to look good. The red dragon swore in a low voice, raised his head and roared. The fireball in his mouth was more and more ferocious, and his housekeeping skills came out. It's just that these desert beasts are really weird. It seems that they can't be killed or finished. Even if they fly in the air, they can also fly in the air to stay and attack. Little thing, don't push too hard. Be careful of the wound. Long Qingxia is guarding Yunwu. A touch of red on her left shoulder deeply stimulates Long Qingxia's golden eyes. It seems that these desert beasts will change with our strength. What the hell are these things? It seems that there are more and more. Let's not attack separately. Let's focus on one point and break through first. Pray for the night. Yes, the original dozens of desert animals, but now it seems that the number is about to break 100. If it goes on like this, let alone break through the encirclement, I'm afraid that they will be consumed in this way. Focus on one point and rush out. Yunwu also drank, forced to endure the pain of his left shoulder, waved a big knife to kill the enemy, and spattered blood fog. Gradually, Yunwu's face became more and more pale, and the blood completely dyed his left shoulder red. Your wound is split. Seeing this, the dragon quickly stood in front of Yunwu, pinching the heads of the two desert beasts. Nothing. Yunwu gritted his teeth, regardless of his left shoulder soaked in blood, and flapped a desert beast with a knife. Dragon Qing, evil look in the eye, pain in the heart. Yunwu's character, Long Qingxie, can't be understood anymore. If you want Yunwu to admit defeat and shrink back, you can ignore her partner's life and death, unless she dies. This little thing is really, ow dash, roar, one desert beast died, and more desert beasts rushed in. The cloud wields the ancient martial arts sword, and the cold and murderous qi are concurrent, and the momentum is soaring. The desert beasts who are trying to take their lives are being ripped one after another. The smell of blood filled the whole sky, but the bloody bodies on the ground quickly turned into black fog and disappeared. Then, he turned into a fierce and huge desert beast and continued to attack. This cycle is endless. No, I can't break through. Whoosh whoosh, taking advantage of the neutral gear, Shengguan and others quickly breathed. Their forehead was full of sweat, and their clothes were tightly attached to their skin. Yes, it's not the way to go on like this. No matter how fast we kill, those things seem to die and come back to life more and more quickly. Evil, what can you do? If it goes on like this, I'm afraid it won't be long before we run out of energy. Situ Lan asked in a loud voice. Originally, he, Nanganji and praying for the night all consumed a lot of physical strength. Now, at one stop, he not only consumed a lot of physical strength, but also put a lot of money on his body. Shengguan split the desert beast and wiped his sweat. Yes, Long Qingxie, you didn't always pay much attention. What should you do now? If it goes on like this, we'll have to account for it here. Long Qingxie frowned, no way. Although he may be able to try the transmission array, it takes time and place to develop it. At this time, let alone time, it is impossible to develop it in this desert. How can we not understand the cloud dance and the speech? Hayo, do you know what these things are? Hayo has been to the top of the desert before, he may know. I don't know. I didn't encounter these things when I came to the top of the desert. However, I just went to check the records. Half of such strange things must be controlled by something. As long as you can find out what is controlled is gone, these estimates will disappear. Control? At the beginning, Yunwu people had already thought that these things were controlled by what, but how to find them in the long desert? Where do you think it will be? Underground. This sentence, Black AO very affirmative answer. Get the answer, Cloud dance hard a cold. Well, it's under the ground, right? Then she'll see what the hell is that makes them so embarrassed one by one. Shengguan, Nanganji, hold on first. I'll go down to the ground and have a look. After cutting off a desert beast, Yunwu immediately said something to his partner. And at the moment of language falling, a yellow earth element suddenly rises from her body. Soil element. Although cloud dance was used at the beginning, it was rarely used for earth elements. However, at this time, she wants to try how effective this earth element can be. What? Underground? Nangong Yi and others can't help but be stunned. Isn't that a joke? But the dragon poured evil smell speech, but in that golden eye flickered a touch of splendor. This little thing doesn't want to boom dash, the yellow light suddenly shrouded Yunwu, while the yellow sand under her feet seemed to sink in an instant. In the twinkling of an eye, you can see the figure of Cloud dance falling into the yellow sand, but the speed is not fast. Little thing. Weifu tells you one thing. Among the 7 elements, the earth element is the most difficult to control. However, if you can understand the real power of the earth element, it is also the most powerful. However, as soon as the dragon's evil words fell, the cloud dancing figure had disappeared under the sand. The real power of earth? Cloud dance heard the words of Dragon Qingxie, but she couldn't understand it. Into the ground, although there are earth elements wrapped, but still can feel the pressure from all directions that toward her. What I saw in front of my eyes was also dark. This situation is very unsafe. Hayo, I can't see around. Can you feel it? Your soil element is far less than other elements, and you can't grasp it well. That's why this is the case. Yunwoo knows this, but now is not the time to say it. Is there any way? It's so dark that you can't see anything, let alone find the thing that controls the desert beast. I'm afraid it's a question whether you can get close to it. Cover the ground with earth elements. As long as you cover the ground with earth elements, you can see the freedom to follow. Soil element cover. Cloud danced along, but also did not hesitate. Mind move, efforts to absorb some spiritual power from the Chaos Temple, immediately move up the elixir field, mobilize the earth elements, efforts to infiltrate around the great pressure. To tell you the truth, this process is really a bit hard. Physical exertion is increasing. In the Hall of Chaos, Hyo feels the change of cloud dance and frowns under the black fog. Finally, I sighed. Hand a brush, a dark breath along the just cloud absorption of the Hall of Chaos aura meridians, suddenly poured into the cloud of elixir. Hyo, Yu Yuanli suddenly gushes out of Dantian. The original feeling of hard work disappears in an instant, and the whole body's physical strength and Yuanli seem to have recovered to their peak. This spiritual power is absorbed from the medicine power in the red bottle. I have absorbed the dark power and converted it into pure spiritual power, which is good for you to recover your physical strength. If you give me the spiritual power, then you have life to leave here alive. In fact, the Yuan force was given to Yunwoo, and his original power of recovery came back to before. But it seems that I don't know why. After getting along with this girl for a long time, he has become different from before. Smell speech, cloud dance, heart move. But there is no affectation, immediately more quickly will be filled with soil elements around. Not for a moment. Light yellow light of earth elements has been like gold light sprinkled in the end of this piece. The darkness in front of us was replaced by the light of pale gold. At this time, there was a vast space around us. In the range of earth elements, the pressure was gradually dispersed. Is that within this range? Yes. It's far in front of you. Ahead? Because under the ground, and under the cover of the earth elements, there is an incomparable silence, a kind of frightening silence. The cloud danced the vision to sweep an eye, in front of that boundless, the space under the light of pale gold. In the hand of the ancient martial arts sword in an instant, black fire diffused in the sharp blade, step without any hesitation, immediately fast forward. She can't wait. This earth element diffuses and envelopes the space, which consumes her physical strength too much. The longer the time, the greater her physical strength consumption. What's more, there are dragons on the ground. In the distance, on the sand dune, with moonlight on his back, a straight figure with hands on his back was staring closely. Like a woman's delicate skin, beautiful face, the corner of her mouth curved, unexpectedly, she knows how to control the phantom underground, but it's really more and more interesting. Dragon Qingxie several people, still in the cycle of killing. Under the ground. Although it is surrounded by earth elements, creating a space, it is still underground. Wrapped in thick light lus elements, the cloud dances forward with great momentum, feeling a burst of flexibility and pain on the face. With the acceleration of speed and the support of earth elements, Yunwoo's physical strength gradually became unbearable. How far is it? Black Pride is silent. Only half a sound did I hear his deep voice. It seems that it's intended to hide its own breath. I lost it. Can you hide your breath? Can you find it again? Don't worry, give me some time. Cloud dance. Then hurry up. I'm afraid the longer the delay, the worse it will be for us. Under the control of Hyo, the black fog in Yunwoo spreads rapidly along the long yellow sand of the surrounding space. Hyo plans to use Huangsha as the medium, and the power of darkness penetrates Huangsha to find the target. The strength of darkness is cold and overcast, and the yellow sand deep in the earth is unexpectedly cold and overcast. In the dark, Cloud Dance shivered. I found it. Where is it? Behind you. The Cloud Dance stopped suddenly. Behind? But the cloud dance didn't have any hesitation. The cold light of the eye flashed and the figure turned around. Yuanli burst out. The force of abundant soil elements is like a volcanic eruption, and the turbulent momentum stirred the yellow sand under the ground to form a huge vortex. Sha-sha. Some kind of grinding sound. See, the cloud dance attacks strength, unexpectedly by that around yellow sand dissolve. Be careful. Black AO surprised voice just shout out, a strange shadow, has hit toward cloud dance fatal position. Cloud dance reaction, at the moment, the foot of a move, speed away. Hiss. But under the shadow, the clothes were cut with blood. It uses earth elements. Get out of here. As soon as Hayo's urging words fall, the cloud-dancing ancient martial arts sword splits across the sky, and the earth element turns into a drill in an instant and rushes out straight to the ground. Bang dash, a soft figure bursts out from the center of the yellow sand vortex. Bang! Another explosion on the ground. Another figure, also immediately from the ground out. Boom! The light flashed, and two figures collided violently in the air, rolling up a hurricane. Then, the two figures fell on the two opposite dunes. The cloud dance stands upright, and a touch of red blood oozes from the corner of the mouth, and drops on the yellow sand, slowly permeating and disappearing. How strong! This person is very strong, above her. This is Yunwu's first reaction. At the moment when she rushes out of the ground, her intuition tells her that a breath is coming to her. Therefore, with the encouragement of Yuanli in her body, Gu Wu's sword and black flame are slashing fiercely. In such a fierce attack, the other side can handle it freely, and hurt himself with dark force. Yunwu can't help but be surprised. This is the man who controlled the transformation of the shadow into a desert beast. Who is he? Cloud Dance in the Heart mentions 12 points vigilance. Who are you? On the sand dune not far away, a light yellow light covered a figure. The man was carrying his hands, and his face was completely covered by his sand yellow robe. He could only see a bright red lip. In the cloud dance that asked after half a ring, a voice like sand, just very slowly came, I am me, you don't know me. Cloud dance, this is nonsense. Said also equal to did not say. However, no matter who he is, if he wants to relieve the crisis of encircling the dragon, he has to kill him. The cloud dances coldly, the eyes are slightly narrowed, and the cold is like a sharp knife stabbing at the past. The desert beasts that besieged us are controlled by you? No. No. Cloud Dance eyebrows twist up. However, the man added, it's just a part of me. I want to besiege you. Part of his body. What do you mean? However, what he meant in his words is not the same as his manipulation. In a word, Yunwu's killing intention broke out again, right? It seems that I can only end up killing you. The cloud dances coldly, and the momentum bursts into the sky, and the ancient Wu broadsword is smashed with fierce momentum. The man doesn't seem to be in a hurry, just like the delicate and ruddy corners of a woman's mouth, and the whole body is full of the strangeness of no life. Bang dash, the green silk flies, and the ancient Wuda sword in cloud dance's hand bombards the sand dunes into sand pits. But what about people? Yunwu put away the sword, the whole bunker was empty, just got the figure disappeared. Did he use earth elements to escape? You are strong, but not as good as me. A frosty voice came from above. Looking up, I saw the figure, flying in mid-air. Yunwu frowned. With the blow just now, she played at least 80% of her strength, but the man easily escaped. This man is not only powerful, but also very fast. Yunwu, this man is a bit strange. He has no breath of life on him, and he is very strong. Even if I make a move, I can't be sure of winning. Don't fight hard. Try to deal with him. I'll win by sneaking attack at the right time. Sneak attack. Although he said that he was imprisoned in Chaos Palace, he was always arrogant. When did he use the word sneak attack? But Yunwu knows that if he can say this word, it means that the whole opponent she is facing is powerful. Good, but move fast. I'm afraid that the physical strength of the people in Nanganji is too much, and the desert beasts are too strange to kill. It's not good for them. Be careful. Yunwu suddenly noticed a surge of momentum, quickly returned to his mind, raised his ancient sword to resist the attack. Boom dash, the yellow sand splashes, and Yunwu's arms sink, and the huge impact plunges Yunwu's legs into the yellow sand. And the next second. But the figure of the man turned around and stood on the edge of the bunker with his hands on his back, with a strange smile on the corner of his mouth. If you don't pay attention when you fight, it will soon kill you. Are you worried about your companions? Cough, there is a touch of blood flowing from the corner of the mouth, and the throat is sweet, but Yunwu tries to swallow the blood. It's none of your business. Cloud Dance coldly glanced at the man, a trace of worry flashed in the depth of the cold eyes. The strength of this man is too strong. Why not attack directly? Is it a delay? No matter. Since he doesn't do it, she will. I don't want to talk nonsense with you. In a word, will you let the desert beast retreat? When talking, the cloud dances coldly, the eyes sun straight to hook to stare at the human figure, in the hand Gu Wu big knife also tight. The man is still the same, the blood-like lips slightly hook, want to stop, unless you can hurt me. Seeing the banter smile on the corner of the man's mouth, Yunwu's anger gradually rises. Well, since you like to play, I'll play with you. Low voice cold extrusion, cloud dance single hand knife, figure has turned into a shadow, where, sand slowly. Good. With a strange hook on his lips and a turn of his hand, the yellow sand on the ground suddenly becomes a yellow sword, waiting for the clouds to dance. Ding dash, a clear and leisurely sound. Strong shock, the strength of the road through the ancient martial arts sword shock. Yunwu felt numb in the moment, and the body glided back more than 10 meters to stabilize the body. The man, however, seemed not to be affected at all. However, there seems to be some changes in my breath. It seems that I underestimate you. I'm really curious about the strange energy in my body. The man walks to the cloud dance, the corners of his mouth are less banter and more weird. You can see through it. However, those who know my secret are always going to see Yama. The shadow was stunned, as if digesting the meaning of her words. Half a ring. Haha, right. Interesting, there's more to come. Cloud Dance Forest ran a smile, although the strength is inferior to the person, the momentum still has to do enough. Hayo, it's not good to drag on like this. He didn't give me any chance to sneak attack. However, I feel that the man is coming for you. Although I don't know what his purpose is, I can feel that he didn't want to kill you. To her. But did not move to kill the idea, why so bitter entanglement? Cloud Dance is silent. Yunwu, you are too passive now. Maybe there is a little hope for you to turn attack into defense. Good. Cloud Dance nodded, momentum convergence. Hey, you just said that if you hurt yourself, you can stop. Does that count? The man slightly eleng, immediately way, b. Well, I hope you keep your word. Otherwise, even if you fall, I will make you die. The momentum of Cloud Dance is gradually rising. If the Cloud Dance was in an explosive period before, now it is completely in a calm and indifferent state. The man didn't say anything more, just waiting for Yunwu's attack. Cloud Dance at this time, but not in a hurry to attack. Instead, his mind empties and rearranges the tactics of his attack. However, after thinking about it, she seemed to find that he had no special tricks at all. Every move seemed to be to oppress her. The opponent with no tricks, what terrible opponent is that? Even if Cloud Dance has the assassin's skill, it has never met an opponent who doesn't even have any tricks. That kind of opponent is just like a newborn. You don't know what he's going to do next. Damn it. On the other side, the dragon's evil spirits were more and more exhausted. It's not the way to go on like this. Yes, these things can't be destroyed. Meng Bai, you dig a hole and take Nangong Yi to leave first. After tearing apart a desert beast, the red fire dragon suddenly yelled in a thick voice. Among the people present, Nangong Yi's arm was the most seriously injured. Nangong Yi has no choice but to smile, but the sword in his hand still attacks without showing weakness. Don't look at me too weak, I'm okay. Pray night that cold face, but rarely rise a trace of displeasure. Let you leave first, waste what words. I think you don't want to talk about him. I'm afraid we can't do without him underground. You see, those things seem to be reborn from underground, and I don't know what happened to Xiao Wu. As he spoke, Shengguan split a desert beast. But Shengguan's words made several people on the scene more ruthless. Obviously, they are worried about the safety of Yunwu. Don't talk nonsense. She's okay. Take care of herself first. Long Qingxie took a look at the vast desert in the distance. I can't kill these ghosts. If my fireball can explode, I won't kill them. Red Fire Dragon cursed angrily. However, his words, but let Nangong Yi Leng. By the way, how could he forget? Hand over, a few small iron balls suddenly appeared in his palm. One radian. Boom boom. All of a sudden, bursts of explosion, time in the desert set off. In the distance, Yunwu, who has failed in many attacks, was stunned when he heard the explosion. What's going on? Why does she seem to hear the explosion of a grenade? Nanganji. After hearing the news, Yunwu could not help but raise his mouth. It seems that they should be okay for the time being. However, her fight cannot be delayed any longer. When the man in yellow robe heard the bombing, his body was obviously shocked, as if he had been affected by something. Cloud Dance's sharp-eyed discovery is that the cold light in the fundus of the eye flashes, the elements of the wind wrap around the body in an instant, and when the ancient martial arts sword is put away, a sharp knife comes out, and the body shape has already flashed away. Whoosh! The edge is across the air. Hiss! The tearing sound of clothes being cut. And the yellow figure just disappeared. In the second of the cloud attack, his figure disappeared in the air, not fast, but completely disappeared. Space elements? No, there isn't any space element in the air. He doesn't use space element. How did it disappear? The cloud dances the pupil Mao to shrink a little. Watch your step. Whoosh. A sand friction accompanied by the sword swish sound. Powerful force, straight from the foot of Cloud Dance to attack. Cloud Dance, even if the reaction is very fast, jump up in the air, but a blood gap is still hard to cut her left leg, blood along the heel, drop by drop on the yellow sand. However, at that moment, Yunwu could see clearly how the figure just appeared. It's yellow sand. His body was made of yellow sand. What's going on? He's not flesh and blood, but yellow sand. No wonder you can't feel the breath of life from him. It turns out that he is the yellow sand in this desert. Black proud tone with incomparable consternation. Yunwu was also surprised. However, seeing this scene, she suddenly seemed to understand something. Earth element, earth. No wonder, Long Qingxie would tell her that among the 7 elements, the earth element is actually the most powerful one. Because the earth is the foundation of all things, whether it is the place where all things depend or between heaven and earth. If you want to deal with him, you don't need to break your head. She has enough conditions, doesn't she? However, she is now too much physical exertion. Hayo, give me some of the spirit power of Chaos Hall. Because she needs some time to absorb, and now, what she lacks most is time. Good. In the Palace of Chaos. When Hayo heard Yunwu's words, she immediately understood what she was going to do. Because he is imprisoned in the Chaos Palace, if he wants to force the output of spiritual power in the Chaos Palace, he needs to be suppressed by some involvement. However, at this time, the Black Pride did not hesitate. A mass of black fog suddenly surged out of his body, like a fishing net, and immediately gathered to the aura in the first layer of life. When the oppressive force attacked him, the black fog forced the condensed aura to flow down the meridians of Cloud Dance. Eh. Under the heavy pressure of Chaos Hall, Hyo's body was shocked and his brow was wrinkled. He couldn't help humming. Are you okay? Feel Chaos Palace situation, Cloud Dance and Bear that forced into the aura pain, not from worry asked A. Let Black AO forcibly pour out the spirit of Chaos Hall, it is estimated that he will also be a little involved. But now she really has no time, it's okay. Just keep busy. Be careful. Well. Cloud Dance is no longer distracted, will be forced into the spiritual power, quickly into the Dantian, into their own Yuanli. The yellow earth element, at the moment of Yuanli's agglutination, spreads around at a high speed. At the same time, a blue wind element is also wrapped up in an instant. Looking at this scene, the scarlet mouth of the man in yellow robe raised slightly. Think that the elements of earth and wind can hurt me? This time, there was a trace of disdain in his tone. I don't feel much about Cloud Dance. Earth Shield. Wind Net. At the moment when Yunwu was cheering, the yellow and blue light in his hands suddenly spread around. Hoo. All of a sudden, in the originally calm and hot desert, a hurricane suddenly blew up, whistling. Boom. On the ground, a strange vibration came, just like an earthquake. At this time, the brow of the man in the yellow robe seemed to be gradually wrinkled. He lowered his head and looked at the shaking earth under his feet. What does she want to do? Get up. The clouds are dancing in the air, and the cold light in her eyes is flashing sharp. With a shout, the whole yellow earth element suddenly comes out of her body, like a big wave. Boom. The ground changed from trembling to shaking. And at this moment, the original vast desert, suddenly in a circular situation, yellow sand began to rise from the ground, rising, forming a yellow wall. At the foot of the yellow sand, but also under the shock of condensation into a solid. Hoo. The hurricane hovered over the high wall. Up and down form a cylindrical prison pattern. While Yunwu stood in mid-air, looking at the man in yellow robe coldly. You are transformed by the yellow sand of earth elements. I'll see how you can hide now. At the moment, the figure of Cloud Dance has disappeared from the air. The body of the man in the yellow robe suddenly tenses. At this time, his face under the yellow robe is finally slightly raised. I saw that under the robe, there was a pale facial features, as petrified as the general existence, but the more bizarre village held out his scarlet lips, abnormal strange breath. No. The strange eyes of the yellow-robed man swept all around, but there was no trace of Cloud Dance. Sure enough, it has some strength. Whoosh. A small sound of cutting through the air came from behind the man in the yellow robe. The dagger condensed with wind elements is full of endless cold. Here it is the frosted voice of the yellow-robed man sounded. However, in the moment of the dagger attack, his figure suddenly twisted in a short time, and then disappeared. Shadow. Just now, he was a remnant. The Cloud Dance is obviously a Leng, but in the heart is a Tite. In this case, she was shocked by the speed of the enemy. But today, for the first time, she was shocked by such a person who didn't know what the devil was. Under the cover of her earth element, he can still avoid it. What strength has he achieved? Silly Leng will die. The frosted voice, and in the cloud behind the ring. Cloud Dance eyes a cold, subconscious turn, Gu Wu big knife also at that moment ling out, swift and violent horizontal split to go. The yellow long sword and the ancient martial arts broadsword are facing each other in an instant. Chong. The sound of sharp tools. Yunwu's face was a little heavy, because she felt an incredible power from his sword. That's not the effect of his strength, but by the way, it's the suppression of elements. Compaction of soil elements. His earth element is better than hers. Damn it. Resist a sword, confrontation to a peak, abruptly separated. At the moment of separation, a strong force of suppression fluctuated and spread from the sword to sword. Yunwu was forced back several steps. The yellow-robed man was also forced to take a step. This time, there seemed to be a slight expression on his petrified and expressionless face, but Cloud Dance couldn't tell exactly what the emotion was. You are the second one who can push me back. Frosting sound, very gentle sound. Cloud Dance stands not far away, the tiger mouth of the palm is numb, that is just the result of the strength shock. She almost tried her best to push him back. I believe it is very clear what this means. You're the first person I can't even touch the corner. The cloud dances in the cold. But at the end of her speech, her hand moved, and the ancient sword disappeared. So, in order to finish as soon as possible, I'm going to try this one. The palm of her hand turned upward, Cloud Dance's mental strength gathered, and a very light black light gradually appeared from her palm. And at that moment, the atmosphere in the surrounding air obviously changed. The smell of darkness. The power of evil bite. In fact, because this force is obviously not easy to control, and there is still a crisis that she cannot predict, so even against Shenguansheng she is useless. Today, she also tried to control only a little agglutination. The power of darkness? The yellow-robed man's face seemed to have changed a lot when he saw the power of evil bite. It seems that I have some scruples about the power of evil bite. Go Cloud Dance, but hand a brush, see that the black light turns into a black arrow, with the power of lightning, straight attack that yellow-robed man. At this moment, it seems that the man in yellow robe is no longer calm. But the body movement, instant into yellow sand, directly into the wall. It seems that Yunwu didn't expect that he should escape like this. Somewhere above, suddenly a distorted wave of space, dark fog spread out. Soon, you see a figure from the sky out of thin air. The figure stood in mid-air, watching the situation in the prison of the cylinder solidified by the earth element and the wind element. There was a mysterious radiance on the white face below. Yunwu wring her eyebrows because the yellow-robed man was missing. Hayo, can you feel where he is? I'm really depressed. What kind of man is that man? Your earth element covers this area. He is covered by your earth element. However, his earth element seems to be much stronger than you. I can't feel it. Because of this, Cloud Dance is depressed. That man, if it's okay to kill her, at least he will take the initiative to show up, but now if he hides, how can she find him? But if the earth element is removed, it will be more troublesome for him to run away. Is there no other way? The earth element and the wind element are useless to him. Why don't you try the water element? Water element? Cloud Dance cannot help Aleng, but very quickly, but the fundus flashed a touch of brilliance. He is the earth element. She may be able to imprison him with the earth element, but if she wants to hurt him or find him, it's obviously not good enough. Maybe you can try water. However, now that she wants to keep the earth element following the wind element and add water element to support the three elements at the same time, I'm afraid by the way. The key to the power of water. As soon as his mind fell, the cloud danced and his mind moved. A silver pendant was already in his hand. It seems that she hasn't used what she got from the fat man Jia last time, even the Beast Gate and Thunderbolt Gate are looking for. Then try this one. The spirit of Cloud Dance permeates in. Wow, a stream of water vapor filled with the ocean suddenly gushed out. At this time, it seems that no one needs to teach you how to use it. Yunwu has subconsciously taken its own spiritual power as the master, leading to the power of water in the pendant. Hua hua. Bursts of waves, like the beating sound of huge waves, came from afar, and the strong pressure full of water vapor gradually enveloped the whole space. Incarnation hidden in a certain earth element wall of something, in the sense of the strong force of water, a panic spread. You can't use it. The frosted voice roared out from somewhere. But the power of water dancing in the clouds, under the guidance of her spiritual power, suddenly poured into the cylinder. Stop it! At the same time, a sudden sound came from mid-air. When Yunwu heard the sound, he almost subconsciously took back the pressure of water and turned it into raw water. Hua hua. The sound of waves. In mid-air, the figure of the black robe was not hidden. With a flash of black light, a man in black robe stood in front of Yunwu. Under the black robe, there was a smile on her face as pink as a woman. This man is no other than Night, the leader of 10 cities. He seemed relieved when he saw that the water below was the raw water that had eliminated the power of water. Do you have anything to explain about this? When seeing the appearance of the Night, Yunwu guessed something in her heart. It seems that everything today is inseparable from the man in front of us. It's just, why? Did he sacrifice so many lives just to play with her? Or do you want to stop them from leaving? Whatever the reason, this fact is making Yunwu unhappy. In particular, several of them were injured in this battle. After a while, Dragon Qing Evil and Red Fire Dragon and others are flying from a distance. Little thing. Are you all right? Are you all right? Master. A voice of concern came, but when I saw the Night figure, a person's face was not very good looking. What are you doing again? I'm really sorry, Miss Cloud Dance. This has surprised you. Night even slightly toward Cloud Dance and others bowed, full of apology. This scene let Cloud Dance a few people all one lang. According to his strange personality, how could he suddenly apologize like this? However, Yunwu still looked at him coldly and said, Night Master, I hope you can give me a reasonable explanation. Night, after this apology, his face again hung a pair of mysterious smile, looked directly at the cloud. Sorry, this matter does give you trouble, but this is also a gift I give you. Gifts? What's the name of this fight that makes all of them hang up? Cloud Dance suddenly gloomy face, fierce murderous straight into the sky. If this is your explanation, I think we have nothing to talk about. The Night winked, pretending to be innocent and said, Miss Yunwu, I think you misunderstood. Misunderstanding? It's ridiculous. Cloud Dance pointed to the huge pool position. This is your misunderstanding. Or a gift in your mouth. Night, then suddenly silent. Yunwu was really angry, and his anger rose from the bottom of his heart. But at this time, Yunwu suddenly felt a hand on her shoulder. Long Qingxia pulls Yunwu to his back, and there is a flash of killing intention in the evil spirit's golden eyes. I don't care who you are and what your purpose is, but the people who hurt her are always dead. Boom, the momentum of Dragon's betrayal of evil has increased sharply, the intention of killing has been rolled up, and the huge pressure has spread in an instant. At the foot of the sand dunes loose, the sand dunes in the area where Longqingxi is located sink a few meters, forming a sand pit with a diameter of tens of meters. Shangguan and others, including several contract beasts, were also killed in an instant. These people have expended so much physical strength that they can still have this momentum. It's kind of surprising. Night can't help picking eyebrows. Well, it seems that you are not interested in humor. In that case, it's not too good for me. I'd like to give you my gift. I hope you can get rid of your dissatisfaction. As soon as the words were finished, Night suddenly raised its hand, aiming at the pool where the cloud danced with earth elements and wind elements. A strange suction suddenly came out of his palm. Wow! A certain figure broke through the water. In the twinkling of an eye, I saw the figure of the man in yellow robe just now, flying towards the hand of Night, without any resistance. This scene let Cloud Dance suddenly startled. This Night seems more terrifying than that man in yellow robe. Miss Cloud Dance, this is my gift for you. I hope you like it. What? Send a man to Yunwu. Long Qingxia's face sank in an instant. Shangguan's face was also unnatural. However, before Long Qingxia made the next move, the yellow-robed man turned into a yellow light when he was pushed to the cloud dance. Under the yellow light, a thick smell of soil elements came. When the cloud danced slowly, a yellow pendant was already floating in front of her. The key to earth power? Yunwu was a little surprised. She was surprised. No matter what, she never thought that the man who disturbed them was the key to her search for the earth power, which gathered the four forces of nature. Dragon Qing Evil see this, eyebrow also can't help but micro-provocation. Shangguan and others were also surprised. I hope Yunwoo girl, after accepting this gift, can forgive me for what I have done. You know, this ATU has been sealed on the top of the desert for a long time, and has absorbed the blood and bones of Warcraft and all ethnic groups on the top of the desert for a long time. You will be hard to accept it if you don't handle it. 2. To become a sperm. The key of the earth power, can it be refined? Although, for this knight's words, some feel incredible, but it seems that in front of us. Cloud Dance looked at the yellow pendant floating in front of her eyes, but without hesitation, she reached for it. I saw that the yellow pendant into the palm, obviously felt a trace of resistance. If you put your water power with it, ATU will not dare to resist. At this time, the knight said with a smile. The Cloud Dances to smell speech, lifted the eye to glance the eye knight, the eye ground flashed a silk to doubt. But still the silver pendant with the yellow pendant wrapped together, after the income of the space. You seem to know a lot of things. Cloud Dance looks at that knight suspiciously. Who are you? Knight smell speech, mysterious hook lip smile, but the line of sight from Cloud Dance body slightly turned to Dragon Ching evil body. I think, this question need not I answer, but I believe he won't say, since your men don't say, I can't say anything, right? Brother Long the Cloud's frown. Dragon Ching Xia put his hand around Cloud Dance's waist, raised his golden eyes and looked straight into the strange eyes of the knight. That's each other. These two people's dialogue, discerning people can hear, between the two hidden things. However, it seems that neither of them can say it. Well, now that I've given the gifts, I won't give them to you. Knight suddenly said with a smile, but the meaning of the words was obvious. In fact, Yunwoo wants to ask many questions, but she knows that there must be a reason for Long Qingxie, and this night, she probably won't speak. What about those people? Cloud Dance asked. The people in her mouth are naturally the hundreds of mercenaries who wanted to help her save people. If all these things are caused by this night, it is estimated that those people are still alive. Don't worry, they are people on the top of the desert. They won't die so wrongly. I heard that Yunwoo was a little relieved. At least, she doesn't have to feel that she owes them nothing to die for her. You should know the position of the Phoenix clan, right? At this time, Long Qingxie glanced at the knight and asked. I know. Where? In fact, it's not far. It's on the easternmost side of the top of the desert. The knight laughs. Easternmost? Dragon in the west, Phoenix in the east? However, in this way, they will save trouble and go straight across the top of the desert. However, the knight suddenly added another sentence. However, you can't get to the Phoenix clan like this. Even the East Pole can't live for 3 days. Cloud Dance suddenly frowned, staring at the knight. Why? The knight smiles mysteriously, carries his hands behind him, and says, the East Pole is the highest temperature place on the top of the desert, and any creature can't live in it for 3 days. That's why even people on the top of the desert rarely know the location of the Phoenix clan, unless... Unless what? Don't play games anymore. Yunwoo's face was cold and his heart was not happy. Ha. The knight chuckled and continued, the land of the East Pole is extremely hot day and night. Because it is the nearest barrier to cover, besides the extreme heat, there is a huge pressure. There is no extremely cold pill refined by a master-level pharmacist, and no one can cross it. The extreme cold pill of the master-level pharmacist? Cloud Dance frowns tightly, not to mention the master-level pharmacists, only pharmacists are rare. How to find the master-level pharmacists? What's more, even if there is a master pharmacist, the herbs and time of alchemy are also a problem. What's more, I don't know if there is a master-level pharmacist. Hio, if you use the human level, what is your alchemy level? Black AO was silent for a while, then the dull voice came out. Even in its heyday, it was not a great master. Even the heyday of Hio can't reach the level of master, so how can we find another master? Of course, it's the closest way to go through the East Pole, but it's not that there's no other way. Is there another way? Where? leaving the top of the desert to return to the mainland of China, and crossing the most eastern border of the mainland of China, it should not be far away from the Phoenix tribe. However, such a journey will take at least a month. A month? They have been delayed for a long time in the Dragon Clan. If they are delayed for a month, and they still don't know the whereabouts of the Wind Heart in the Phoenix Clan, I don't know what follow-up actions will be taken by the Beast Gate. Time is there hard wound. It seems that Yunwoo girl is not satisfied with the information provided by me. Well, to show my apology, I'll give Miss Yunwoo another gift. I hope it can help you. Knight said, open delicate palm, quietly lying a delicate jade box. Gifts? Looking at the box, Cloud brow can't help ring up. However, Yunwoo took it and slowly opened the jade box. The moment the jade box was opened, the air was extremely cold, and the breath of Yin and cold poured out from the crack of the box. Yunwoo couldn't help stirring up. How cold! What's this? The jade box opened, and a crystal-clear elixir was embedded in the special wooden block, surrounded by cold air. This is a very cold pill. It's a farewell gift. Jihan pill? Yunwoo looks at the extremely cold pill in her hand. The body of the pill is full of beautiful cold air, curling up. Just looking at it, she can feel the coolness of the extremely cold pill. It's cold and cool. Shengguan looked at Jihan Dan and couldn't help muttering that the coldness sent out by Jihan Dan was comparable to that of the lunar month, and there was a trace of eerie feeling. As everyone knows, it's absolutely rare. However, this extremely cold pill can only be taken by one person. After the night, everyone's face changed slightly. So many people, what's the use of only one Jihan pill? Cloud Dance Willow Eyebrow Condensation. This extremely cold pill can only be refined by a master-level pharmacist. It's extremely rare to have one. She doesn't think he can take out a second one. One is not enough. Meng Bai looked at the extremely cold Dan and couldn't help complaining to look at the knight. You really don't have it? The knight is treacherous smile. This is like a rare treasure, there is a miracle already. What he said was serious, but his tone was extremely flat. Hearing this, Meng Bai felt harsh, but he couldn't find a refutation point, so he could only stop talking. Xiaowu, it seems that we can only walk from the border. Situ Lanwei looks at Junmei as if he is asking. Of course, it's more convenient to walk from the border than to pass the insurance in the desert, but it also takes more time. For a long time. Well, I'll go in from the desert first, and you'll take them to the border. After thinking for a moment, Yunwoo looks back at the evil way to the dragon. Go to the border together. Long Qingxia's sword eyebrows wrinkled slightly, and he didn't agree with Yunwoo's proposal. He left. Who took care of her? Time is limited. I'll go to the Phoenix clan first. At the border, only you can develop the teleportation array. Cloud Dance tone insipid, eye ground but dyed a trace of complexity, you have to be careful. Her attitude is firm and her meaning is self-evident. Well, if you need to do something, you can do it when you go. Dragon Qing evil micro sigh, compromise, she decided things, he does not want to stop, even if the result is he worried about her to death. Looking at him, Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, eyes like spring breeze swept into his eyes, a moment, then put on a layer of indifference, that moment of abnormality, is her fetter to him. Uncle Ben is with you. I can't trust you for saving this guy a few years. Red Fire Dragon a face can't bear of Piao Long Qing evil one eye. Cloud Dance tiny jaw head, if it is Red Fire Dragon, even if there is no extremely cold Dan, should also have no problem. Anyway, it's also a fire dragon. Everyone nodded in agreement. Are you sure you're okay? Meng Bai took a look at the red dragon. His tone was suspicious, but his eyes were worried. Although they know that he is a fire, they can't imagine how hot the desert is. Don't worry about me. Red Fire Dragon responded with a violent temper. I didn't expect you to be so amorous. What did you say? Believe it or not. All right. Cloud Dance eyes slightly cool, swept Red Fire Dragon one eye, go. Red Fire Dragon stares at Meng Bai and turns to follow Cloud Dance to leave. Looking at the figure, everyone's eyes flashed a trace of worry. At this position, they have already felt the abnormal heat. If they continue to move forward, strive for one day to reach the border. The figure of Long Qingxia and others was ethereal and disappeared in the same place. A day? It's going to take a month, isn't it? How to get there in one day? Only night, looking at the back of the Cloud Dance, the corners of the mouth stir up a smile as if thinking. In the endless desert, the yellow sand gradually turns into fire red, like a raging fire, and the undulating sand peaks are like waves. All the way east, Cloud Dance only feel a word, hot. No, it's not hot, it's hot. Red rolling hot. Looking at the distance, cannot see the trace of the phoenix, she felt that this degree of heat has been unbearable. What the hell is this place? Why is it so hot? Red Fire Dragon curse, just now can heat out a few drops of sweat, now even no sweat. He belongs to the fire department. He can't bear the heat. I'm afraid he has no face to talk about it. The burning red sand is rustling and creaking step by step, which makes people more hot and dry. Although she took Jihan pill, she could clearly feel the heat of the desert. Is the phoenix not far away? Would you like something to eat? You didn't even take the baggage. What else do you have to eat? Red Fire Dragon has no good spirit of White Cloud Dance one eye. Cloud Dance Vermilion Micro Hook, lightweight, do it yourself, plenty of food and clothing. In the distance, a warcraft was approaching them. A whole body transparent, glowing warcraft, just like a ruby crystal warcraft. More than 10 meters away, Cloud Dance can easily feel the power and heat from warcraft. Is there any warcraft near the Phoenix clan? The Red Fire Dragon cried in surprise. Cloud Dance a smile, where have no warcraft? Maybe it's the food of the Phoenix. Phoenix feeds on warcraft. You're a fool. Cloud Dance breathes a smile, once again eyes on warcraft. This warcraft doesn't seem to live here, but it seems to adapt to the climate here. However, this warcraft risks its life to live in the Phoenix clan. What's the secret? Roar. Warcraft demonstration threat. Cloud Dance frowns and sneers, a 6th level warcraft, but her strength is above the 8th level. I don't know why she can smell the taste of power taken by warcraft. A touch of very familiar but can't remember what it is. If you kill him, you won't get angry, will you? Red Fire Dragon seems to feel something. Yes. Then how? Continue to be hungry. Red Fire Dragon glances at the Cloud Dance, and has some helplessness to her cool. You want it or not? This warcraft only appeared as food. What shall we do? Kill or not? The Red Fire Dragon roared wildly. How can a simple question be so tangled? Kill, as fast as you can. Can't delay time. She obviously felt that the scorching degree of the desert was beyond the range of Jihan Dan. With Jihan Dan, she also felt that her skin was about to be scorched. Hearing the words of Cloud Dance, the Red Fire Dragon attacked Warcraft in the next second, and he couldn't bear the heat of the desert. Waves of heat came, which was mild, but now it became extremely sharp, like a burning sickle touching the skin. A few quarters of an hour later, the Red Fire Dragon and Warcraft are not even up and down, and the Red Fire Dragon is slightly inferior because of lack of physical strength. Bang! At the moment when Warcraft hurt Red Fire Dragon, a big knife with black flames suddenly appeared, isolated between the two. Should those who hurt me ask for my advice? The strange and fierce atmosphere of darkness scattered, confused the sight, and forced Warcraft to retreat, unable to resist. Hissing. Warcraft's eyes are fierce, showing 2 tusks. The power in its body suddenly erupts. It seems to be combined with the power of high temperature in the desert. It is strangely hot. Then try to fight with yourself. Cloud Dance is like as 2 peas, and the corners of the mouth open with a smile of poppy, and the black flame knife is folded, and the hands are folded together. In the middle of the air, a monster is exactly the same as the Warcraft. Warcraft's eyes seem to be stunned for a moment, and then attack Warcraft with the same appearance and different power. Your Warcraft can match it. Red Fire Dragon's suspicious sight hovers between Cloud Dance and Warcraft. No, Cloud Dance's eyes were cold. Taking advantage of a gap, the black flame sword flashed out and cut through the heat wave. The lethal force directly divided Warcraft into two. Poof! Blood splashes on the desert, just like desert flowers blooming. But I can. Yunwu puts away the black flame sword and raises eyebrows at the Red Fire Dragon. The Red Fire Dragon's breath was a little messy, and the resentful eyes looked at the indifferent Cloud Dance. I knew that I didn't have to work hard. Although she said that, she was secretly surprised. The comparison of Warcraft was also made with her own strength. What's the concept of one hit? Yunwu glanced at him and didn't say anything. Maybe only she could see that this Warcraft could not resist the scorching heat of the desert. What power or elixir was missing? Let's go. With a glance at the charred Warcraft, the elements of Cloud Dance and Wind Rush all the way to the east. They galloped all the way. The heat wave was like a raging fire, and their skin was burning. Finally, the desert was full of fire, as if they were in a sea of fire. Ah, damn it, I can't do it. Behind him came the screams and curses of the Red Fire Dragon. Cloud Dance takes the wind element. Looking back, the Red Fire Dragon has fallen on the ground, gasping. It seems that it has reached the limit. If you don't have enough space, I'll go faster myself. It seems to be discussed again, but there are already actions on the hand. You mean I dragged you? Without waiting for the Red Fire Dragon to finish, Cloud Dance has taken it back to the little stinky fire ring. She took the extremely cold pill. All felt so hard, even if the fire department is afraid, also difficult to withstand. Then he continued to run all the way, but the speed dropped significantly. All of a sudden, Yunwu felt something abnormal in the fire system space, and directly let out the little stink in his meditation. Ma. Little Stinky was just released. She was in a good mood. She didn't bother her for the first time. Instead, she was wandering in the desert. How could she forget that Yunwu is the descendant of Phoenix, and this is its home, though it is not purebred, but the temperature here is not expected to have any effect on it. However, after a while, Yunwu can't help frowning slightly, looking at the little stinky eyes, some pondering. Is it eating the pressure of high temperature? The high temperature in the desert is extremely powerful. Because of this power, it is more and more difficult for her to use the wind element, but the little stink is eating it? She didn't think much, just a clear smile. It is also the offspring of the phoenix. This is its territory. It is estimated that this power may be used as food. But the strange thing is, how does it feel like it's getting bigger? Cloud Dance wring eyebrows, want to take a closer look, but because of the small stink and jump, can't see clearly, even if. The elements of Cloud Dance wind attack the body, gallop all the way, never slacken. However, as the temperature of the scorching sand kept rising, she also felt more and more difficult, and could only communicate with Little Stink to divert her attention. Little Stink, how do you feel? Ma. Xiao Smelly is very excited, and seems to be escorting Yunwu. Cloud Dance a smile, perhaps so can let her ignore at the moment extremely cold Dan also can't bear the hot. It's getting hotter and hotter, like a volcanic eruption. The Cloud Dance stops the wind element, the breath is dignified, the lips are a little dry, the skin is red, there is no strength to continue to use the wind element. If it wasn't for Jihan Dan, she would have been baked without blood. It's hard to bear before entering the Phoenix clan. If the temperature in the Phoenix clan is higher than this, it's really life-threatening. I hope it's just a barrier to protect the Phoenix clan. Little Stink, you can see how long it will take to get to the Phoenix clan. Since it is the offspring of Phoenix, it has at least a little sense. However, in response to her, it was silence. What makes silence golden? Yunwu slapped his head. I saw a round thing rolling down on her head. Small Stink soars again, but flies very low, and the skin is also abnormal red. The Cloud dances and frowns. What's the matter? Just want to walk a few steps, Cloud danced but fell in the hot desert, the body seems to be hollowed out in general. Heart suddenly a tight pain, inexplicable a panic. All of a sudden, Yunwoo found that Xiaoqiu's body was a big circle. Just in a moment, his body suddenly expanded, and his skin began to crack. With the continuous splitting of blood, his body became bigger. The cloud dances the eye ground to be startled to pass, just it swallows the high temperature pressure, the bodily form enlarges is true. See small stink constantly struggling pain, eyes pain of a scarlet, Yunwoo heart surprised. Little stink. Cloud dance quickly read out, want to take back the little stink space, but I don't know why, can't take back. What's going on? Hovering in the air of the small stink struggling, Cloud dance can clearly see that it has a strong red power. That's the high temperature force it just absorbed. This stinky thing, eat everything. Yunwoo didn't have time to think much, so she just stood up and used her dark power to try to control the restlessness of the high temperature power in Xiaoqiu's body. I don't know why, after touching the power of magic bite, the high temperature power really calmed down a lot, and Xiao Stinky's painful look lightened a little. This makes Yunwoo a little relieved. But because of the power of high temperature, its body is completely red, wrapped by red light, and the temperature is extremely hot, so Cloud dance can't get close to it at all. Bang! There was a loud landing. Small Stinky soft fall on the ground, look calm and soft, but has no consciousness. Are you asleep? She felt the extreme cold in her body. Dan could not resist the high temperature in the desert. Her strength was getting weaker and weaker. If she didn't leave quickly, but how did she get rid of this little thing? Get him into Chaos Hall. Black proud and lazy voice came from my mind. What can we do? Besides her, she didn't know how to let other people into the Chaos Hall. Otherwise, she would not have no way out and had to work hard every time when her life was at stake. She is your contract beast. You enter the Chaos Temple and summon it. When summoning, don't have any thoughts. Maybe you have a chance to succeed. Black Proud said flat, Cloud dance but know the chance of success is not big, but also must try. The first floor gate of Chaos Hall is certainly helpful to Xiao Chao's current situation. When Yunwoo sneaks into the Hall of Chaos, Shengmen Lingqi comes to her face and surrounds her. She sits on her knees to dispel the distracting thoughts. Xin Yin calls Xiaoqiu. The first level of Shengmen's spiritual power is extremely pure. Yunwoo stays here to summon Xiaoqiu, and his dry power feeling has been restored. After a while, the spiritual power of the students suddenly gathered. It was ethereal and seemed to wander back and forth in search of something. Finally, it stayed around the clouds and felt. Cloud dance looks calm, calls small stink, naturally did not find this strange scene. Just when I don't know how many times Yunwoo called Xiaoqiu, Shengmen Lingli left around Yunwoo and disappeared instantly. In the blink of an eye the next second, a red light suddenly appeared in the door. The cloud dance sensed, the moment opens the phoenix eye, then sees the small stink sleeps on the ground, the eye light moment joyful. It seems to be a success. I didn't expect that the first time you used summon, you succeeded. Black proud slightly surprised voice sound. Cloud dance willow eyebrow tiny pick, a touch of radiant raised, trouble you to take care of it. Although I can float to the first floor, my real range of activities is only the second floor. I can't intervene in the first floor. Black proud some helpless. Can't intervene, can you intervene? Cloud dance in different eyes, a phantom disappeared in the door. Hyo shook his head, alas. Looking at the red desert, the clouds dance and gather their eyes to meditate. The little stink is in the gate of life. Don't worry about it for the time being. Next, you should enter the Phoenix family as soon as possible. The extremely cold Dan in her body can no longer bear the higher temperature, so she has to cross the red desert as fast as possible. When the wind element is lifted up, the shadow disappears instantly. On the other side, the hurricane was so violent that it messed up a group of people. I don't know what kind of weather it is. Shengguan's curse was caught in the wind, and immediately disappeared. His hair was flying, straight and horizontal, and he grabbed his clothes with one hand, so as not to be torn apart by the wind. One day, the dragon was crazy. In order to get on the way, he made a lot of teleportation arrays to shorten the distance. The risk was not explained. However, the bad situation here at this time makes people curse. After passing through this Fengao, it should be the border of Fenghuang people. Nanganji looks at the hurricane coming in the distance again with a calm look. Well, this wind depression should be a protective barrier. Situ Lan nodded in agreement. This wind depression is not simple. If it wasn't for their equal strength, I'm afraid they would have been torn apart by the sharp wind. Why are you all okay? Shengguan was in a mess in the wind. He looked at the others with a runny nose and tears, just like a few gods. Don't you know how to fight against the wind depression? Look, you've been blown a fool. Meng Bai's ruthless irony. I don't know what happened to her. Pray for the cold night. Although there is no name and surname, everyone knows who she is talking about. Worry about us first. Sure enough, it won't pass so smoothly. It's Wind Warcraft. Warcraft of the Wind? Does this belong to the Nature series of Warcraft? Situ Lan looked at the only dragon that he could know and was surprised. It can also be said that it is a natural Warcraft. After all, the wind comes from nature, but the form of Warcraft should be compared with human beings. The dragon's evil golden eyes narrowed slightly, and the eyes were evil and dangerous. You mean someone controls the wind? Nangong Yi's warm and cool voice rarely reveals a touch of surprise. It's preset. Praying for the night color glanced at the South Palace E1 eye, the cold tone slightly eases. Long Qingxie nodded, the power of Warcraft compared with the real wind. Before he finished speaking, the next second, a gust of wind came, and the dragon's evil figure stepped back a few steps. He stopped again, and his breathing was a little short. Golden eyes jump with a bloodthirsty smile, he looks at the distant Warcraft, the breath is dangerous. All of them were stunned when they looked at the repulsed dragon. It was really terrible that he could not guard against the speed of resistance. It's a little tricky. We move. Suddenly, a strange wind swept through my ears. The words of, let's do it, in Situ Lan's mouth haven't been spoken, and the figure of praying for the night has joined the battle. They all looked at each other and could not help thinking of Cloud Dance. Their faces turned black, and then they joined the battle. In the red desert, the purple shadow is advancing at a speed that cannot be captured. High temperature constantly blowing burning, the body's extremely cold Dan has reached the limit. And the power absorbed and restored by the spiritual power of the living people in the body began to gradually lose. The scene before us was scarlet, and there was no other sight. That pair of shining star eyes has completely reduced to scarlet. Damn it! Why can't you see the phoenix? Cloud Dance slightly frown, eye color in the past a touch of worry, droop eyes to see, the skin on the arm has been dry, a piece of dander indistinct cracks. In this way, life will account for the red desertification, and the blood will evaporate. Although extremely worried, but the wind element did not stop, still with the fastest speed away. In the distance, there is a faint anomaly, a gray light spot, which is particularly striking in this scarlet hot world. The cloud dances, the fine on of the eye ground flits by, finally arrived. But the second she let her guard down. Ah poof. A touch of strong momentum suddenly directly hit the wind element behind her, that strong force directly into her heart, over the river. The blood flowed along the corner of the mouth, and the scene was as scarlet as blood. The painful convulsion in the heart made Yunwu feel a bit suffocated. Fire Kirin. At the last second of her coma, she seemed to see the shadow of Hu Qilin. Purple shadow fell to the ground and fell into a completely dark world. Red sun all over the sky, quiet, 4 weeks of static numbness, cold, some chill. In the dry forest, a figure was lying quietly by the stream. There was a trace of blood in the corner of his slightly pale mouth, which had dried up. A move appeared in the woods, and the two figures walked towards the figure with subtle steps and slow breathing, which seemed to be very rigorous. Master, she seems to have been poisoned by cicada. Do you want to help her? She's human. What? Actually, it's human. Human beings have the ability to break into the phoenix family. Is this the so-called human? Come on, the phoenix will not accept the existence of human beings without pure noble blood. The two figures left one after the other. Two things that can't be saved in the face of death. A condensation of the curse spread, cold eyes like a blade shot at two people. The man, who was called Shifu, had a mysterious smile when he felt a chill in his back. Soon, the two figures disappeared in the woods. Yunwu sat up from the side of the stream and looked at the completely healed skin, with some doubts in his heart. Just now, the two people talked about what cicada poison she had. Why didn't she feel that she was poisoned? Isn't she in a coma in the desert? How did you get here? Suddenly the star eye glances to the chest, willow eyebrow condensation, is fire Qilin saved her? Looking around, looking at the place where she was at the moment, the scene shocked her. It's scorched everywhere. The trees, flowers and plants are all scorched yellow without any vitality. It's like scorching everywhere in autumn. But now it's summer. Even in autumn, it doesn't make sense that a piece of green grass is missing, right? If the temperature here is similar to that in the desert, it's reasonable. But the temperature inside is a few degrees lower than that in Shacheng. How can 100 trees wither? Is this what the Fenghuang people like? Cloud Dance stood up, the body strength has been restored, the burning sense of tear is gone, the body returned to normal life again. After a moment's meditation, Yunwu's figure suddenly disappeared in the direction where they had just left. In the streets of Yonghua, there are phoenix hovering in the sky and human phoenix walking on the ground. Like the dragon people, there are some phoenix people who resist human beings and do not want to appear in human form. Yunwu stands in a remote location, carefully observing and pondering. She is worried about a problem. According to the lessons of the dragon, if she rashly enters the phoenix, will she be chased to death? Suddenly, her eyes fell on a plaque hanging on the street, unable to move. Hell and Heaven. It's an interesting name. Yunwu tried to hide his own breath, went to the crowd, held a very beautiful woman, pointed to the street entrance and said, "Excuse me, where is that?" The woman scornfully swept the clouds up and down, chin slightly young, showing a touch of sarcastic smile. "Just came, right? People who want to survive in the Phoenix clan need to go there once. Those who can come out can continue to stay. Those who can't come out, he's dead." Listen to her tone, as if at a glance to see through the cloud dance is human identity. However, what surprised Yunwu was that from the tone of this phoenix woman, it seemed that the phoenix people were not the dragon people, and they would like to gnash their teeth when they saw human beings. Instead, it seemed that there was a kind of existence in the phoenix people that human beings were humble slaves. Cloud Dance tiny squint eyes son, is really a don't give human self-respect place. Is that what hell heaven, between life and death, means? But I advise you to leave the Phoenix clan, or you will become a slave for life. That's a waste of this beautiful face. The woman is coquettish, a smile, in the smile said not to be able to satirize. Cloud Dance light glanced at a woman, one eye, vermilion lightly opens. When seeing you again, I definitely answered you this sentence. Don't look at the woman's stupefied look. Yunwu turns to the intersection of hell and heaven. There are rules for survival in every place. The dragon people are arrogant, but the phoenix people are more arrogant than the dragon people. Therefore, in their eyes, human beings are just a game to pass the time. Looking at the plaque on the street, her eyes were quiet. She guessed that the people who went in didn't come out, did they? So that's why she didn't see a single human. Whether it is or not, it seems that it is not the time to think more. When Yunwu walked into the street, he smelled a very bad smell and could not help frowning slightly. Another human to get a pass. The frivolous tone came from the back of Yunwu. Cloud Dance looked back, but found that there was no one behind him. Just as he was walking around, a voice of ridicule sounded again. It's really stupid. Human beings only know how to look at the ground when they hear voices. The cloud dances to lift the eye, in the eye light flits over a silk chili, twinkling of an eye namely die. Over the sky is a phoenix with silver fire, just like the phoenix flying in the sky. At first glance, it looks extremely dazzling and noble, but it makes Yunwoo feel so unbearable that it is difficult to look directly at it. Take back the line of sight. Cloud Dance did not answer, turned away. Horizontal, what horizontal? Lao Tzu talks to you. Behind him, the silver phoenix is in hot pursuit. Cloud Dance is still walking without turning back, and its pace has not slowed down at all. Can't you hear me when I talk to you? Humble human. A hand behind him grasped Yunwoo's shoulder. Just as he wanted to pull Yunwoo hard, Yunwoo suddenly turned around and startled the man. Do you think you're cheap now? Cloud Dance sneers. The silver phoenix glares at the clouds and has no words to refute. He's showing up as a human now. Can you say that he's cheap? You are so noble. Are you cheap to talk to me as a human being? Cloud Dance's pick eyebrows. Yunwoo glances at him, turns around and leaves again. She doesn't want to cause any disturbance when she first enters the Phoenix clan, but it doesn't mean that if other people have nothing to look for, she won't give a tit for tat. The dilapidated street is an extremely evil place. This place should be the darkest in the Phoenix clan. I'll buy her to be my concubine. 1,000 liang. You're against me, aren't you? What else do you want? Noisy crowd, all kinds of voices, extremely harsh. Yunwoo walked towards the crowd and saw a ragged, disheveled woman tied up in a white tassel skirt, with her hair covered and her face not clear. Take a look at these people who are shouting at 521,000 taels. They are full of flesh and blood, which makes people feel disgusted. Is this the noble and beautiful phoenix? Why do you feel like a disgusting upstart? You're good. 1,000 liang finally bought the woman's hand in front of him. The man dragged his fat body and narrowed his small eyes into a seam. Lift up the woman's hair. The man's expression is a zheng, strange change. It is a cloud dance. See all feel perfect face. Goose face, watery eyes, delicate nose, look aggrieved but calm. People cannot help but feel pity. What are you doing? Take her back to me. Yunwoo looks at the woman with a cold look at the bottom of her star eyes. After thinking for a long time, I finally made a decision. 5,000 taels. Cold voice is like a bomb in general, the crowd will instantly blow the boiling. All eyes were on the woman who spoke 5,000 taels. 5,000 taels. The man looked at Yunwoo suspiciously, looked scornfully, stretched out a hand, take it out. Cloud Dance eyes intentionally or unintentionally swept that woman one eye, caught that woman eyebrow between a trace of anger. It seems that she disturbed her good things, but the most difficult thing in life is to make mistakes. I wonder if it's worth 5,000 taels. Cloud Dance in the hand black flame big knife suddenly appear, direct Ling air raid to frame on the man's shoulder. The man's body trembles and looks at the black flame broadsword. He resists his fear and greets each other with a smile. If you like this woman, I'll give it to you. I'll keep the 5,000 liang. It's not about the disgusting and fat people of the Phoenix family, but not all of them are brave and good at fighting. Of course, there are some mud that can't support the wall. In addition, the ancient martial arts sword of Yunwoo is dying, which brings a strange breath of death. I don't think it's very strange. Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, put away the black flame sword. A body, figure ethereal, the crowd has no her two figures. What are you looking at? She can only hide like a mouse without a pass order. Even if she hides in a crack, she will dig it out for me. This scene is clearly seen by the Cloud Dance in the dark corner. The most dangerous place is the safest place. Besides, she still needs a pass. Since she is in trouble, she has to do things secretly. Who? A touch of fierce and murderous spirit came whistling over my ears. The shadow of a bend, a trace of fighting from the reverse direction. Poof! The woman fell to the ground, bloody outflow, pale face. Glancing at the woman on the ground, Cloud Dance's eyes were cold. What identity? I just saw her and thought that she was not simple. I didn't expect that she would do it. The woman reluctantly stood up, her eyes were cruel and disdainful. I should ask you this question, why did you save me? What's the purpose? In their hands, you can imagine the result. Cloud Dance does not answer the question, Self-Care said. The next second suddenly shot, directly point the woman's acupoints. What do you want to do? There was a trace of fear in the woman's words, but she still kept calm. In order to save you from being hunted down, the rescued people are still ungrateful. What do you say I do? Sending you to relieve the danger of being hunted, of course. She gave a demonic smile, which was dangerous and cold. You. The woman's fear has been unable to hide. You dare to offend our evil faction. Do you know the consequences? Evil faction. Cloud Dance picks eyebrow to ponder, then lift mouth, have not heard of. The smell of vegetation rises, entangles the woman's waist, and the Cloud Dance leads the woman to the place where she left. You, as a human being, threaten me with what ability? The woman angrily denounced. The flame burned, instantly a red fire phoenix appeared, with a raging flame, arrogantly hovering over the clouds. It's disturbing our plan. We should kill it. At this time, a wild man's voice came from behind Yunwoo. Looking back, a man wearing armor and holding a big knife was staring at her for a moment. Yunwoo looks at the man, slightly squinting. He is a human. The man's face is black and his lips are purplish red. At first glance, he looks like a cult or something. It's really like the evil sect. Before I kill you, I'll let you die to understand that the evil faction left Dharma Protector has been killed for a long time. The man waved his sword with great destructive power. Her name is Su Yen, the right protector of the evil sect. The left and right guardians of the evil faction. That strength should not be underestimated. No wonder she always thinks that the woman named Su Yen's strength is not simple. Just now, that palm can hurt her, which is beyond her expectation. The black flame broadsword appeared, facing the edge of broadsword, and every impact was as strange as sparks and lightning. Bang! Thunder and lightning fell in the air. With the surprise of the four eyes, the golden thunder and lightning gradually disappeared and came straight to Susha. Boom! All of a sudden, Su Sha's body was surrounded by lightning and his vision was blurred. After seeing clearly, Su Sha has been cut black by thunder element, leaving only two dull eyes. Had it not been for his armor, he would have been a black coal. How can you use thunder elements? Su Sha is surprised. As a human, he knows the rarity of thunder element more than any phoenix people. Surprised? Even more surprising is still behind. Bang! As soon as the voice of Cloud Dance falls, Magic Bite's power appears strangely, and directly blows away Su Yen who wants to attack her secretly. She looked at Su Sha indifferently, a trace of impatience passed in her eyes. Can I go? It's bad for us. If we want to leave, we'll die. Looking at the beaten lotus, Su Sha's eyes are scarlet. Although he saw the strength of Cloud Dance, he didn't pay attention to her. Those who provoke their evil faction can only be punished by death. Their task this time is to mingle with the Phoenix aristocracy. Although the men just now are the mud of the aristocracy, their family background gives them a natural advantage. They are all the people who want to attend the aristocratic banquet 2 days later. As long as they can follow them, things will be 100% sure of success. But now, this woman has ruined this opportunity. Damn it! Cloud Dance sneers at the corner of his mouth, and the sharp edge of the broadsword comes again, which makes his killing intention deeper. At the same time, he urges the evil power in his body to attack without any hesitation. Whoosh! Boom! The wind, the cloud, and the armor cracked. Su Sha tried not to let his weakness show, but his inner breath was churning fiercely. It seems that I didn't expect that this woman's strength is so weird. Bang! The black flame dagger flew into the air and waved. When it hit down, the earth moved and the mountains shook. The whole surface trembled slightly, and a crack spread continuously, and finally it broke completely out of control. The dust splashed and spread everywhere. After a long time of death, I felt a lingering fear. This woman just wanted to escape. Now how can she take the initiative to attack and kill him? Is it for he unconsciously touched his arms and looked at the clouds warily and dangerously? If she really did it for the thing in his arms, he would only die and could not complete the task. If she gave it to the owner, he might still have a life. I'll let you live today and fight again in the future. The arrogant voice is scattered in the wind. The figure of Su Sha has disappeared, and the residual sound falls into the cloud dancing ear and lingers. Want to escape? You have no chance. The sound of cloud dancing and condensation is like ice, condensing the air flowing around. Whoosh! The purple phantom creeps out and follows. But Yunwu didn't notice that the flying phoenix in the mid-air had watched this scene for a long time. Unintentional people as a busy watch, even if intentional people in order to benefit has brought danger to her around. Fengao, not far from the border. The last one. Situ Lan roared and waved his sword, which directly divided the warcraft into two parts. At this moment, Wind Warcraft has no combat power at all. In the gap, Long Qingxie took the Apei and compared it with a warcraft. They collided and disappeared. It's over at last. Meng Bai was panting heavily and looked tired. These Wind Warcraft are not simple warcraft, a total of 7 warcraft, a waste of their time. It seems that the Phoenix clan is also a great master. Nangong Yi pats the tattered white robe, and there is no wave in his calm eyes. Dragon Qing evil thin lips micro hook, turned to not far from the border. A few people look at each other, a little depressed about his attitude, but also quickly keep up with his pace. The entrance to the border is only as big as a door, but they can't provoke the power of the border. If they force their way in, they will be seriously injured and can't be cured. Situ Lan stretched out his right hand to try to touch the border, but when he was half a meter away from the border, he suddenly took back his palm. At the moment, his palm was completely scarlet and covered with blood. It's so powerful. Situ Lan Jun frowned. He used his own strength to protect the palm of his hand, just in case, but found that his own strength did not seem to exist in front of the border, which was totally useless. Only one more teleport. The dragon's evil golden eyes are low. Now the most urgent thing is to get to the Phoenix clan and small things quickly. The teleportation array is certainly a good way, but if there is any accident in the teleportation array, it's been used several times along the way. Won't there be any more problems this time? Shangguan looks at Long Qingxie and seems to have some lingering fear. Last time, he was brought to the top of the desert by the afterwave of his transmission array, and his life is almost gone. Although, in order to get on the road, he also used the transmission array to shorten the distance many times, but every time there was a risk. This time, you can cross the barrier and enter the transmission array directly. If there is another accident, even if there's an accident, what can you do? No more. Meng Bai couldn't help looking at the complaining Shangguan, his own woman is in it. He wants to be more cautious than anyone else. Let your 180 hearts go. It's not too late. Do it. Situ Lan agreed with Meng Bai. Nangong Ichi nodded at night. The dragon's evil golden eyes closed slightly and recited the mantra of transmission array. Suddenly, the wind was rushing, forming a straight wind vortex, which went straight into the border. Several people looked at each other and jumped into the border without hesitation. Wind blurred the line of sight, completely unable to open their eyes, all eyes closed, let the transmission array take them where. The luxurious back garden is full of spiritual power everywhere. Baptism generally removes all the turbid evil around, making people feel extremely comfortable and quiet. Give me what you have. Cloud dance is cold and hoarse. The days around are extremely oppressive. Obviously, she has no patience. If you want something, can you afford to offend the evil faction? The people who were chased by Su Sha were out of breath and some of them couldn't do it. Don't say that he can't escape her pursuit. Even if he can, he doesn't have the strength now. However, this woman's face is not red and her heart is not beating. It really caught him by surprise. Lift Mao to see a distance, empty a, Su Lotus this woman, should come. Don't look. No one can save you unless you hand over something. Whoever saves you will die. Cloud Dance eyebrow tiny wrinkly, skim a silk of danger, it seems that you still want me to do it by myself. Originally, she didn't want to have more than one life. When she left, the dragon Tingjuan in her mind suddenly glittered with gold, and the map of the temple was beside her. Can she say it's a coincidence? That's why she's chasing him. Come and get it if you can. Su Sha roared, touched his arms and threw the map of the temple into the air. The cloud dances to pick eyebrow slightly, black flame big knife takes the opportunity to wave down, didn't wait for that Su to kill to play the means, with uncanny speed direct Su to kill a knife to seal throat. In the eyes of the dead and frightened, Yunwu grabs the map of the temple in the air and falls into her hands. Looking at the map, the corners of her mouth slightly hook, raised a smile more pure than the spirit power at the moment. I see them coming here. A quick voice came. Yunwu raised her eyes and saw that 5 phoenixes were coming towards her rapidly. She could clearly feel the smell of evil faction from tens of meters away. Who dares to enter the Phoenix Palace? A rebuke came from Yunwu's left side. Phoenix eyes micro drop, a smile bloom, it's time to come. In the quiet garden, a touch of fragrance flows to a certain direction. Who are you dare to enter the Phoenix Palace? Taking the lead, the phoenix turned into a human figure and glanced at the assassin who had been killed. His eyes were cold and overcast. Search people. This is the phoenix aristocrat, who allows you to search. Their fight fierce, Cloud Dance a turn to disappear in the corner. This is the noble blood of the phoenix family. It's right to start from here. Different from the rooms you see in hell and heaven, it's like a mountain palace. There are polished and extremely shiny caves everywhere, golden. Yunwu takes out the pill that Hyo developed for her to hide the human breath and sneaks into the mountain palace of Phoenix family. At this time, the mountain palace is preparing for the next banquet. It's extremely busy. No one finds anything strange about the cloud dance. Yunwu looked around the mountain palace carefully. After a week's observation, he didn't find any secret place. He didn't find any news about the Heart of Wind. She went out of the mountain palace and came to a remote corner of the mountain palace, thinking about how to start. She had a premonition that the Fenghuang nobles should know the whereabouts of the Wind Heart, but she didn't know how much the Wind Heart affected the Fenghuang people. Suddenly, just as Yunwu was about to leave here, the flowers in full bloom in the distance and a figure lying on the grass stopped her. The dead? Intuition told her to leave quickly, but her body could not help walking towards the figure. The man's mouth was bleeding, his face was pale, and his body was stiff. It seemed that he had been dead for a long time, but his black and red lips made Yunwu think of the person she killed. Was he a villain? It seems that it's not easy for the evil faction to sneak into the Phoenix aristocracy. One of them died. Raising a sneer, Yunwu turns to leave. Suddenly, a dazzling light suddenly appeared, making Cloud Dance slightly squint and frown. With the dazzling light, a flame-like luminous body is flashing in the distance. A few meters away, Yunwu has felt the pure power of that thing. Figure a shake, she picked up the luminous body on the ground, looked carefully. It was placed in the palm of the hand, half the size of the palm of the hand, full of flame, just like the brightest moment of the flame, constantly curling burning. The shape is like a phoenix being portrayed, a phoenix being reborn. Who? Cloud Dance suddenly looks back. After seeing the corpse on the ground, the passerby rushed all the way and said, I dare to kill people in the mountain palace, looking for death. Strong phoenix ling attack, straight to the cloud call. Who at that moment, the shadow of Cloud Dance stagnated and disappeared in the same place. Where do you want to escape? A high drink suddenly splash in the air. Yunwoo frowned slightly. It seemed that she was demonstrating to her. In fact, it had already attracted many guards of the Phoenix aristocracy, causing unnecessary trouble. I'm afraid it's necessary. Who dares to break into our family? In mid-air, the purple phoenix has been overlooking the clouds, although the attitude is not arrogant, but also very arrogant. Cloud Dance stopped, looked at the three phoenix in the air, and the soldiers coming from afar, with a touch of helpless worry between the eyebrows. Who was killed? Do you have any of your people? Cloud Dance micro-pick eyebrow looking at three phoenix. I don't know who it is when I kill people. Is it a murderer? The purple phoenix looked at the man who spoke. The man immediately lowered his noble phoenix head and stopped talking. The purple phoenix glanced at the corpse in the distance, then shook his head, no. It's none of your business. It's none of your business. Cloud Dance makes me laugh. Purple phoenix eyes color change, a arrogant turn, has become a human form. The man is in his early 20s. He has beautiful eyebrows and thick eyebrows. He looks handsome, but he looks like a rebellious master. It's not our man, but he died in our territory. Do you think it's none of our business? Man thick eyebrow a pick, seemed to have the smell of provocation. Not at all. Do you know that I can kill you now? The man's eyes were cold when he looked at Yunwoo. You can do it long ago, can't you? If you want to kill her, why wait until now? The man's face flew up with a smile, and the woman was a little funny. I'm Moen, Prince of Shanggong. Why did you kill him? By accident. The clouds danced coldly. Well, you can go. Moen bowed his head for a moment and made a gesture of please. Your Highness, how can? What else did the man want to say? He was stopped by a cold look in Moen's eyes. He touched his nose and didn't speak any more. That person should look like a teacher or an old-fashioned minister. He looks like a person who is looking for training. Looking at Moen's smile, Yunwoo's heart was clapping for a while, so easy to let her leave. Did he know that this man was a dangerous man? The world is dangerous. If it's not good, withdraw. Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, turned to leave, but after walking a few steps back. Your Highness, I wonder if I can ask you something. Go ahead, please. Do you know the heart of the wind? She looked at Moen and her face changed slightly after hearing the heart of wind. She knew that he must know the heart of wind, but she didn't know whether this change of face would bring her good news or bad news. If this sentence is heard by a second person, you may die. It's not something you can know. Give you another chance to escape. If you can beat him, you can leave. The corner of Moen's mouth is dignified. He points to the person who just spoke, and then turns around and leaves. Looking at the back of the desert dark leave, her eyes bottom meditation circulation, like the eyes of frost mirror put on a layer of hazy. Then he glanced at the man and turned away. The man was ignored by her, his face slightly changed, a blink, like lightning in front of her, want to leave, but also through the old man this pass. Old man. Suddenly, a man in his early 30s calls himself Lao Fu. Are you shocked by my childlike face? Ha ha ha. Who? A touch of wind swept my ears, two figures intertwined in an instant. The old man has lived for such a long time. After a few moves, the old man received her attack, but his face was not red and his heart was not beating. He was a veteran fighter. But if it wasn't for the fact that he was a phoenix and had some advantages, Cloud Dance would have been able to cope with such combat effectiveness. However, in order to hide the human breath, she had to fight quietly. The power splashed in the air, sometimes like a sickle, sometimes like lightning. The sound of their fighting naturally spread to other people's ears, and they all planned to come to watch, but they were blocked by Yunwoo's use of the border grid. Border? What kind of phoenix is this little girl? How can I use bounding elements? Moen seems to have sent everyone back. After a while, everyone left. Broken. Magic Bite power rolls on the black flame saber, a sharp and shadowless rotation, directly bumps the old man away. Yunwu put away the black flame sword and laughed like a scarlet flower, blooming in the corner of his cold lips. Goodbye. With a wave of his hand, he disappeared in the four eyes. Unexpectedly, I can't believe I'm going to. The old man looked at the cloud dance, and the surprise in his eyes was like lightning strike, strange and unpredictable. Moen's eyes are deeper when he looks at the cloud dance. Is he a human? Who is a human being with such dark power and pure and holy temperament? Just when Yunwu left Feng Huangshan Palace. Suddenly, I found that there were evil people hidden in the Phoenix Mountain Palace. Those evil people seemed to have found her, and the strange thing was that they looked at her with murderous eyes. Is this the look you should have when you meet for the first time? After leaving the mountain palace, Yunwu felt that someone was following her all the way. The smell was evil. If she didn't know why they were killing her, she would not live until now. As soon as the shadow stagnated, the cloud dance disappeared in everyone's sight. The eyes of the people who followed were stunned for a moment, and they looked alert. What about people? I don't know. Trash, find it for me. Keep the change. Cloud dance from behind a few people suddenly make a sound, a few people body tremble, suddenly turn back. Tired of following me? Cloud dance face expressionless way. If you given what you have got, you will not die. The man in the green robe looked at the cloud dance with contempt and looked arrogant. Do you mean that? Yunwu takes out the phoenix seal he just picked up and waves it in front of several people. However, when a few people want to grab, they cleverly take back the space. I can see that this thing seems to be very important to them. One of them was fooled. That's our stuff. Take it. The green-robed man's green veins burst up in anger, and the whole person seemed to be able to run away in the next second. What I get is mine. Let me give it back to you. Why don't you get it yourself? She laughed sarcastically. How could she hand over what she got because of his threat? If so, wouldn't the things she bought in exchange for her life have been empty long ago? Kill her for me. The green-robed man snorted coldly, but then said, Stay alive, my brothers haven't had fun for a long time. Don't worry, master. My brother will take good care of her. One of them is obscene. 3 wipe figure in different directions to the cloud, speed like electric shock fast. The cloud dance willow eyebrows slightly low, the corner of the mouth bloodthirsty sneer raised, to pursue her is not all in the eye but in the use. 3 wipe figure moment has come to the clouds around, silver whip like a small snake constantly rotating, as if to touch is the flesh, bone fracture. Ah! Poof! Damn it! In the middle of the sky, the figure of 3 wipes bounced back in accordance with the original road, blood flowed, screamed and fell, and the sound of pounding the ground sounded around the clouds. At that moment, the earth's surface trembled, the sand and stones rose, the leaves rolled, and the dust blurred the sight. The line of sight gradually became clear, and the figure in the distance also became clearer and clearer. Cloud Dance looked at the fuzzy figure, just like a smile, smile warm helpless, smile of spring bloom. Shadow through the dust, and finally came to the Cloud Dance side, consistent evil spirit, consistent voice. Little thing, see how thin you are. Do you want to think for your husband? Think too much to eat, can't sleep, finally can only kill to comfort themselves. Cloud Dance rarely responds to ridicule. I know that for my husband. The dragon's evil spirit encircles the clouds in his arms, and the dust and leaves are everywhere. The 2 figures embrace each other, just like the most beautiful fairyland picture in the world, which can't be touched from afar. Nangong Ichi and others, who are not far away from them, can't help muttering when they see this scene. Look at people. After the battle, there are beautiful women to comfort them. Alas! You can have it, too. Just find a female mouse. Meng Bai and Shengguan tease each other. Nangong Ichi looks at each other in the night, leaving Situlan alone. When will spring come? Is that enough? Pray for the night to take back the eyes that put on Nangongyi's body, and look at the two people who cuddle with each other over there. There is not a trace of temperature in the cold eyes. Cloud Dance pushes away the dragon to pour evil, raises the indifferent small face to smile, solves the problem. The dragon nodded in favor of evil. You who the hell are you? The green-robed man and the remaining two men looked at the sudden group of people with a trace of fear. They didn't feel their breath. They could come to her in an instant. Either they were very close, or their strength was completely unfathomable. He didn't feel them, only the latter. These are the people they can't provoke. Just now your men said what they would do to my women. Long Qingxie's sword eyebrows raised slightly and looked at the three people with a smile. The smile was like the darkness under the light, which made them feel more sinister and dangerous instead of relaxing at all. It's common to take our evil faction's things, be robbed, raped and killed, and those who know the truth will not come to provoke the evil faction. The green-robed man hides his surprise in his eyes. If they can't get the Phoenix Seal back, they will die. The Phoenix Seal is something that the evil faction has been looking for many years. Now a trace of satanic coldness flashed in the golden eyes. The dragon looked at the cloud and said, "Did you take their things?" "I don't know if it counts." Yunwu answers truthfully, and she doesn't know whether the Phoenix Seal was dropped by the murderer or the slain. "That's it." Long Qingxie looked at the green-robed man, thin lips slowly lifted up a bloodthirsty radiant. "Next is the rape and killing." "What?" The green-robed man was tongue-tied. He didn't know what he was talking about, but he felt that the next thing was so dangerous. On the spot, although Nangongyi didn't know what would happen, he knew that these people would not live next. Praying for the night just knows that someone who leaves alive can only die under her sword. Shengguan didn't know, so he was waiting for his hand at any time. Meng Bai is a spectator to watch the wonderful events, because he knows that it's too late for him to make a move at all. It's probably Yunwu and Situ Lan who can understand the heresy of Long Qing. "Evil, you don't have to be so ridiculous. Aren't you afraid that your woman can't accept it?" Situ Lan touched his forehead, but he couldn't bear to look directly at him. "Before it happens, I'll hold my woman in my arms and let her only see me." The dragon smiles, but it's dangerous. Yunwu sighs slightly, turns around and leaves. She can't stop the next thing, and the devil recovers. You what on earth do you want to do?" "I'll fight with you." Their conversation made the three arrogant guys panic, and they had no confidence at all. What they said seemed that what would happen next was more terrible than going to hell. Nangongyi and others left behind Yunwu, but Situ Lan walked a little slower. Bell. The shrill sound of the whistle sounded. Roar. With a roar, the steps of the people who left were slightly stagnant, just for a moment. Does the animal roar? Ah. The miserable cry is carried out in everyone's ears, as if Zisher ghost cry, as if the abyss beast howl, hoarse voice pulled open like a roar. Finally, the scream was buried in the abyss of great pain, leaving only the silent moan. What happened? Shengguan looked back 3 times and was extremely curious about what had just happened. "I'm curious you're still coming. I thought you..." Words did not finish, a touch of wind shadow has disappeared behind the crowd, toward a certain direction. "Long Qingxie, are you a pervert?" An unbelievable surprise roared out. Dragon Qing evil thin lips slightly young, leisurely court walk like catch up with the pace of Cloud Dance. "After a fight, I'm tired for my husband." Then Cloud Dance shoulders all the way with a head, behind is a koala, obviously he is tired, why still holding her refuse to let go. Shengguan, who is still sluggish, finally regains his mind and catches up with several people. His eyes on the evil dragon have changed obviously. He used to regard him as a monster, but now he is regarded as a cold-blooded monster. They were given an aphrodisiac. When their blood was gushing, a wild animal killed 3 people. The pain was indescribable. After they enjoyed all the pain, they gave them a lift in the slowest way of death. That's what he said. Is it going to be raped and killed? Is there such a cruel and terrible person in the world? Xiao Wu, are you sure you can accept such a man? He guessed that Yunwu must know what happened. Cloud dances languidly to lift Mao's son, you say. When I didn't ask. Shangguan's face turned black. He was merciless and terrible, but she was better than them. These two men were made in heaven. They were destined to be evil in troubled times. Think of this, he mouthed loose uninhibited smile convergence some low, and finally some vicissitudes. The wind is filled with the fragrance of flowers, and the lazy stream is not only rippling, but also a few boring people are sitting on the side of the stream. Xiao Wu, have you heard the whereabouts of the wind heart? Not yet. I have a location. I need to check it. Where is it? The Noble of Phoenix. Cloud Dance leans on Dragon Qingxie, slightly squints and stares at the dazzling light. It looks like you're really lucky. Looking at the Cloud Dance, the corners of the knight's mouth smile a little more treacherous. Cloud Dance lazy glance at him, there is more luck, the Phoenix aristocrat is preparing for the banquet. So we have a great chance to enter the Phoenix aristocracy. Situ Lan picks his eyebrows. Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, but the look is not because of such a good opportunity and a trace of joy, but more deep meditation. Where's that stink? Long Qingxie looks at the Cloud Dance, which means something. Injured. Yunwu is a little worried when she thinks of Xiaoqiu. Although Xingmen is helpful for recovery and healing, whether it can wake Xiaoqiu in a coma is still unknown. She doesn't know what Long Qingxie means. Xiaoqiu is a descendant of the Phoenix. After entering the Phoenix family, she will be able to help a lot, but now Dragon Qing evil slightly jaw head, naturally know what Cloud Dance through the Red Desert experience. By the way, Cloud Dance suddenly pick eyebrow, suddenly thought of what, Phoenix female is not Phoenix family. If we find Feng Huang, can we go further? There's a way to get to the heart of the wind. Cloud Dance sits up from the dragon's evil body and melts a layer of indifference between the cold and gorgeous eyebrows. What can I do? The dragon goes astray. Little Stinky's mother Feng Huang, we've met her. She's in the Phoenix family now. This may be a breakthrough point. Long Qingxie nodded, thin lips sexy slightly pick, that is the Phoenix family's beast, in the Phoenix family's position is very high, if there is no grudge between you, it is really a breakthrough point. Smell speech, Cloud Dance complexion a black, what does he say this words mean? But think of when she was chasing after her for the sake of little Stink, at that time, I wanted to eat her. In the end, although it was sunny after rain, it was robbing other people's sun after all. Should this be a big grudge? But little Stink is in a coma now. Feng Huang won't be helpless. It's another chip. Let's go. Yunwu stood up and glanced at the crowd indifferently. Where to? People were puzzled. To the party. She took back her eyes and walked towards Feng Huangshan Palace. The banquet was 3 days later. The guests had already come one after another. Of course, they would also go. It's just a change of identity, a change of face. On the way, Yunwu deliberately slowed down her pace. When Meng Bai came to her, she walked normally. After a long silence, she finally asked, do you know the status of this mountain palace in the Phoenix family? They don't know anything about the Phoenix clan, and they will be very passive in doing things. But among these people, except that he is an aristocrat, if he doesn't know one or two, it's really like a headless fly. However, Yunwu thinks that he should know something. The aristocrats will have a huge gathering every few years. At that time, the aristocrats of all ethnic groups will show up, and so will the Phoenix. So they should have had a chance to meet. Do you believe what I said? Meng Bai slowed down and laughed mysteriously, but he glanced at the dragon intentionally or unintentionally, said Yunwu frowned and was extremely unhappy with the boring questions he asked. If she didn't believe it, why did she ask? With a smile, Meng Bai put his hands on his back and said, that's the most noble place of the Phoenix family. It's like the palace in the lower world. What you call Feng Huang is the eldest daughter of the mountain palace. After that, Meng Bai no longer said, Cloud Dance no longer asked, what is clear? Feng Huang girl must have violated the rules of the beast family, so she was chased. Feng Huang girl must love her father, or she would not fight to get her back. But she was spurned and pursued by the beast family. Will she still appear in the phoenix family? She's a little confused. Yunwu breathes a sigh of relief, and her eyes return to clear focus. No matter whether she can find Feng Huang or not, it is imperative to have a banquet in Shanggong. Even without her help, she also admires the ability of the group of people behind her to investigate. There is always a way that can work for those who are not able to threaten, those who are not able to threaten, those who are not able to steal. In fact, this is the consolation that she didn't want to face after finding Feng Huang because she refused to help in the past. The rising wind blows on my face and the catkins flutter. The stone gate of the mountain palace of the orcs is wide open, and many bodyguards are welcoming the officials and dignitaries of the Phoenix family. Although there are a lot of people in the queue, the guards of the beast family are still scrupulous. In the crowd, Cloud Dance also saw a familiar figure, Murky. It seems to have been infiltrated by evil people. The whole beast family has been very careful now. The investigation is so strict, can we do it? Looking at the inspection in front of the room, the Shangguan was slightly worried that if he was found, it would be another endless chase and killing. You should believe her, Situ Lan is not worried at all. He believes in every decision of Yunwu. Although every process is a run for life, it turns out that the result is good every time. Don't worry, even if we don't have this human skin mask, we can go in generously. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to stir up A to put on to take off the person's skin mask, the waist plank is straight, walk, people's suspicious eyes lingered behind her. This is not only the Shangguan worry, just vowed that Situ Lan also has a trace of doubt. So you went in. Things are changing so fast that everyone can't accept it for a moment, but no one is against it. Yunwu's several people follow the other family members. I don't know why, everyone's eyes can't help wandering around for a moment, maybe because the lineup is too strong. At the moment when they appeared behind the crowd, Moen's eyes didn't leave Yunwu. The old man still stood beside Moen, and it seemed that the old man also found Yunwu. Your Highness, I'll take her down. The old man said he would do it. Cloud Dance saw the old man's intention, but did not care, also waiting for defense. She knew that the old man did not have the opportunity to fight. If not, Moen waved his robe and brushed his palm to stop the old man's action. Let her in. Your Highness. The old man looked at Moen in disbelief. Moen looked at the old man and said something to him. See the old man's face a green, indignant stare. Cloud Dance one eye, heart unwilling to leave. Then Moen takes back his eyes on Yunwu and looks at the crowd again as if nothing had happened, as if he had not paid special attention to those people. Looking at the communication between the two people, the Cloud Dance slightly pursed lips light pick, the light between the eyebrows is comparable to the bright sun at the moment. Suddenly, a force of arrogance hit Yunwu's arm. If it wasn't for Long Qingxie, she would have been knocked out of place. Looking up displeased, he touched a middle-aged man in a white robe and a black cape. At that moment, the four eyes were opposite, the cloud dancing calm eye color, the instant ripple wave, fleeting, this breath, this feeling, she has not forgotten. Evil people. How dare you want to be a member of the beast family so blatantly? Some are too arrogant. Sorry. The middle-aged man bowed slightly, looked at Yunwu's eyes, but seemed to have another meditation. After a moment's look, he turned and disappeared beside Yunwu. Uncle Seven is here. Welcome. Moen saw the middle-aged man and saluted with a smile. The middle-aged man, who was called Seventh Uncle, nodded slightly, turned and walked into the stone gate. What he didn't know was that he was arrogant and hard to get close to. But Yunwu saw the rush when he entered the stone gate. Seeing the man disappear in the direction of the stone gate and in her sight, she frowned slightly. How could the seventh uncle of the prince of the beast family be related to the evil faction? Things seem to be getting more and more interesting. Yunwoo didn't see the evil eyes staring at her in the stone gate, but Long Qingxi saw it, and he laughed deeply. In the dark of the desert, Yunwoo entered the family and became the guests of the family. It all seemed so natural that everyone had no doubt, except for the two. Is the night, the miserable half-moon hanging in the air, emitting a pale almost brilliant, the night, dead quiet clear swing. You shouldn't be here without a reason to convince me. In the dark and silent night, a voice like the clear moon comes out flat, but with a simple and clear threat. Under the pale moonlight, the purple figure seems to exude a unique color, which is consistent with the night but makes people feel so conspicuous. The cloud dances to hang Mao to circulate, ponder for a moment, the mouse son of crystal bright as snow is tiny to lift, come to seek your highness to make an alliance, don't know your highness has interest. Alliance? Moen laughed sarcastically and thought he had heard the wrong thing. In the Phoenix clan, do I need to make an alliance with others? His tone was haughty and confident, but the momentary lack of confidence was captured by Yunwoo. Looking up at the half-moon in the sky, she said coldly, the moon is very big, but it can't stand the wind and rain in the sky. Now the moon is only the last ray of light. It's very possible that there will be no moon tomorrow night. Smell speech, Mo is dark the corner of the mouth tight close some, looking at the vision of cloud dance change to look at. And the old man beside him, who was very quiet tonight, looked strange when he heard the words of cloud dance. How do you want to form an alliance? Moen let go. Speaking of this point, if he still insists on pretending that he doesn't understand, it will be considered that she is wrong, and she has accepted the loss, but it turns out that she has won. Your enemy is also mine. How about helping each other and eradicating them at one stroke? The cloud dances, the willow eyebrows pick slightly, asking. Moen thought for a long time, then said, how did you provoke them? Does it matter? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how you provoke the same enemy. Even if the alliance is reached, I still have a question to ask the prince. She wanted to know about Feng Huang, so she could only ask him casually. Excuse me. Do you have a sister or a sister? Although this question is a bit superfluous, it needs to be asked step by step. Otherwise, the intention is too obvious and it is not good. Desert dark smell speech, look melancholy some, still nodded, have a younger sister. What about people? The cloud dances to pick eyebrows, and the cold voice is tinged with a trace of urgency. Moen shook his head and looked at a remote mountain palace in the distance, which was covered with moss, as if it was isolated from the world. Under the pale moonlight, the mountain palace is even colder and desolate, just like the leaves falling on the top of the mountain palace at the moment, abandoned and never remembered. Locked in there. Cloud dance frowns. Is little Stinky's mother really imprisoned? Moen nodded and looked at Yunwoo with a trace of doubt. How do you know I have a sister? The whole Phoenix family should know about this. Yunwoo looks at him with an eyebrow. Moen smiles, and the corners of his lips are bitter and infected. Looking at the mountain palace, the air of Cloud Dance's eyes was sharp and cold, and the indifferent air around became sharper. Your Highness, it's getting late. Let's have a rest early. Leng for a moment, touched the cloud ice-cold eyes, he nodded, turned and disappeared in the night, followed by the old man behind him also left. After a long time, the purple figure still stood in the same place, as if waiting for something. Finally, a trace of displeasure and coldness passed between her eyebrows, and she looked back at the tree in the dark. If you don't have the most basic trust, it's okay if the alliance doesn't work. Suddenly, a change of the big tree flashed by. Yunwoo couldn't feel the old man's existence. She also guessed that the old man was spying on her, so she didn't care anymore. Taking back her eyes, Yunwoo looks at Shanggong again. Is that her illusion? She saw a shadow sneaking into the mountain palace. And the breath of the figure is the breath of the beast men? Does Feng Huang have anything to do with Wangwoman? Want to know is also simple, go in to have a look to know. Vermilion evokes a light smile, the ghost-like figure in the night flashes away. In the mountain palace, which has been abandoned for many years. Moss-covered, vines winding, dust all over, the night here is early autumn, mountain palace, the slightly cold night, it is more cold. You again. In the dark and humid mountain palace, a voice of anger and vicissitudes resounded. This time, I'm here to help you. A deep, hoarse voice followed like sandpaper. I don't believe you. What have you done to my son? Give him back to me. Feng Huang roared, her voice was a little hoarse. She was tied to her body by a black iron chain, and the hot phoenix itself seemed to fade a lot because of the cold place. The last time I saw her so proud, this time I have been devastated to such a place. Is it just because she gave birth to a son in private that she came to such an end? Is it too far-fetched to combine this reason with this end? In the slit, Yunfei looks at the iron chain tied with Feng Huang, and her eyes are dim. The iron chain has been applied with spiritual power. It seems that the spiritual power can make anyone unable to use power, including Feng Huang. To tell you the truth, your son is in danger now. His life is at stake. Do you want to save him? The voice of the beast man in black was extremely subtle, as if he was bewitched. At that moment, the cloud dance was almost brought into the mood by his words. It's goo. Feng Huang was bewitched by the beast gate. The claws of the beast gate are everywhere. They reach out to the phoenix family. After a long silence, the anger in Feng Huang's eyes gradually faded away, replaced by the killing intention of Su Sha, but the bottom of her eyes was hazy and confused. Please help me, let me go out and save my son. Feng Huang's huge body collapsed on the ground, begging for the beast. You can't save him with your own strength. If you listen to me, I promise he'll be okay, okay? Will you listen to me? Demonic voice with temptation, torture seems to continue to destroy the consciousness of Feng Huang. I will, well, I'll let you out now, and you do as I say. Then 10,000 beast men effortlessly opened the Xian iron chain and left the mountain palace with Feng Huang. The cloud dances and frowns slightly. It seems that the phoenix girl is really under control. Maybe this banquet held by the beast family will turn into a slaughterhouse. The wind's speed changed slightly, and the figure in the corner had disappeared. In the middle of the night, Yunwu goes back to her residence, intending to stimulate others. Xiao Wu, everyone is waiting for you. What are you doing? Now everyone gathered in her room, as if with a hunch that she would be looking for them tonight. What do you think of eating, drinking, and having fun doing nothing? Yunwu sits on the stool and asks everyone what they mean. What does this mean? Why do you think so much about it? Cloud Dance frowns. Everyone. If anyone else on the scene asked them this question, they would answer it as soon as they answered it. But if she asked this question, they would have to consider whether there was any trap behind it. I don't think so. It's boring. Shengguan spoke first. Agree. I agree with. It feels like that. Weifu prefers this kind of life. Everyone agreed with Shengguan, but Long Qingxie didn't. You are not human, you have no voice. Cloud Dance Whitey One Eye clearly knew her meaning, also knew to sing against her. If you say that, you will be very sad for your husband. Dragon Qing Evil was hurt bad cover chest, wronged looking at Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance completely ignored his grievances and continued, since you all feel bored, I'll find something exciting for you to do. What exciting thing? Why do they have a bad feeling? Feng Huang is controlled by the Beast Gate, so she is handed over to Shengguan. The evil faction sneaks in. Nanganji and Kai's, you two go to stare at her. The rest of you will lurk in tomorrow's banquet and solve the problem by yourself. I know. Shengguan touched his forehead with a sad look on his face. But why did the evil faction target the Beast family? Situ Lan is quite puzzled. They should not be involved in this matter. Cloud Dance dropped Mao to meditate for a while, then Blurry Way, probably is for what thing, where do you come so much nonsense? If I remember correctly, did you rob the evil faction? Situ Lan couldn't help laughing. Cloud Dance looked at C2 Land's eyes deeper. She forgot that this guy is not a simple person. I'm tired, I'll go back to have a rest. The sky is slightly bright, the dawn rises, and the beast family has been noisy. It's a great honor for me to come to the centennial banquet of the beast family. Yes, I remember the last centennial banquet was a goddess forget it. It's all in the past. In the crowd, many people are complimenting Mon. The divine beast family is the most noble blood of the phoenix family. On the day of the birth of the phoenix family, the most noble blood was given to them, and it was handed down from generation to generation. At the beginning of the opening ceremony of the phoenix family, only the most noble blood of the phoenix family can enter the holy land of the phoenix. It doesn't matter. The last centennial banquet is the most memorable one. The corner of Mon's mouth has been raising a smile, although some reluctantly. Speaking of this sentence is not reluctantly. Brother, what is so memorable? In the crowd, a sharp voice came. A woman in a red robe came slowly. Who is it? At the moment of seeing Feng Huang, Yunwu was stunned. The last time I saw her, I didn't see her human form. Now I see that she is very similar to her body temperament. But she was locked up in the mountain palace for so long, and she was bound by the black iron chain. Her power and spiritual power must have been greatly impacted. How could she return to human form? At this time, Shangguan came to Chaoyun dance. Did the beast men help her? Shangguan slightly jaw-head. The purpose is to return to the phoenix. Sure enough, as she guessed, the beast gate wants to control the phoenix family and start from Feng Huang. In the crowd in the distance, a ghost-like figure appeared. He deliberately hid in a corner. No one found him, but Yunwu found him. It seems that the next thing will be lively. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.